fascinating.
They have a broken back.
Oh.
Did you see what happened to my son, Ducky?
No, I did not. What happened?
Dude, fucked himself up.
Just want you to know, you are on stream.
Oh, what are you streaming?
I'm going to be streaming this training
Happened to
grounds.
my son, Ducky?
No, I did not. What happened?
That's
Wait,
fine.
Wicked, how did he fuck
On
himself up?
Twitch?
No, on my YouTube channel.
You have a
Oh.
YouTube channel?
It's a bunnies in the distance.
Hmm.
Have we finally banished him to the Shadow Realms?
No.
Oh.
No, you haven't. You can't banish me.
He will never die.
I am infinite. I will come back as an alt account.
I'll have you know I have 7 accounts and 15
Where?
IP addresses.
Where
How do you
is
know I have-
Extreme Meme Team? XMT live streaming. There it is.
I always wondered, is the XMT server something public?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I'm in it. I think. Potentially.
Yeah, but
I'm in a meme.
it wouldn't be the XMT server if you weren't in it.
Wait, Darky, what's your YouTube channel called?
It's exactly what you think it would be.
Cunts.
Quack Warfare.
Yes.
Quackers.
What you just said.
I just got Quakers instead, mate. It's kind of sad.
I'll check in a second. Where is this posting a bunch of things? Raptor sent me a message. Alrighty.
Slank you
He's
off.
going to join us eventually, and he will tarnish your learning.
Nice.
Dude, I just have Poison Ducky, and it's just, I looked it up, and it's just some guy doing, like, automobile wheel drive things.
My channel name is just Poison Ducky.
Yeah, I looked up Poison Ducky. and it-
My son, he was mountain biking and he fell, had like a horrific injury. It had like a punctured lung, like 5 broken ribs. He might have fucked up his back, broke his collarbone.
Ah,
Did that just happen today or something? What happened?
No, that happened a week ago.
Oh my.
He's already back streaming.
Announcements.
I know, dude. Isn't that crazy?
Oh yeah,
Ducky.
he said I didn't see it. My God.
Yeah.
Did you have nothing to do with Agony Duck, right?
No, I have nothing to do with Agony Duck. We are
Wait,
two
okay,
very
Okay,
separate people.
that was one thing I wondered.
I looked up Poison Ducky, and I just got some automobile dude. What the fuck? 2 years ago. Got some, like, German automobile dude.
Don't know what it is with Warhammer, Total War players, and the affiliation to birds.
I think everything's working right now. Testing. I want to check over my screen, make sure audio's working, and everybody else's audio.
I can check real quick
Don't know
for
what
you.
it is with Warhammer.
Man, I
Total
literally cannot. Dude, can you just put a link to it or some shit? please?
Yeah, I put. Yeah, I'll post it in Noob Hammer. Noob Hammer. Where is the self promotion? There it is.
Filthy self-promoter.
Noob Hammer. Noob Hammer. Oh, my volume seems pretty low for my microphone. I'm going to increase that a little bit. Testing.
It's
one.
good.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. I just realized I was muted. You sound fine. Deadly
Okay.
Bunnies is a bit quiet, but that's on his end.
I'm going to
Yeah.
increase everybody's to 200%. He's already on 200%. That sounds about right. Pretty low for my.
You might want to fiddle around in OBS then.
It's good.
You
Oh,
just have
sorry.
to
I
increase
just realized
my
I was
personal
muted. You
volume.
sound fine.
I am
Deadly
pretty
Bunnies
quiet
is a
now.
bit quiet, but that's on his end.
I'm going to
Yeah.
increase
Or,
everybody's
mess
to
around with,
200%. He's already on 200%.
OBS filter settings, like you can normalize sound. You might
Yeah.
want to fiddle around in OBS then.
It's good.
All right, everyone's sound seems to be taken. All right. Oh god, there's a
5
raptor
whole
legion.
people watching, and I think it's me, Way, and you, and someone else.
Well, it's for the fact that it's one, I haven't posted anything on my channel a little bit, and 2, it's for recording reasons. Even though Gotama is probably going to do it anyway.
You haven't posted anything proper in a month.
Hey, I'll have you. Well, yeah, maybe.
And when you posted the D&D tomorrow with Happy Poppy and friends, under a minute, I don't think that counts.
That was a post for something else I was doing, but I was still doing something.
Yeah, something else, and you were talking about it yesterday as well.
But yeah, so this little Noob Hammer session, I should probably say at here that we're starting in the little thing, training grounds.
What's the session about today?
We're going to be going over build compositions and what you should be thinking about when you're
Oh,
building.
cool.
Because yeah, a lot of newer players are having issues. They usually like I guess we can start going into it. A lot of new players get into like overcommitting into like, and they usually like, what's the good term? Tunnel vision.
Oh, I know what you mean. No, it's the age-old catch-22, right? Where when you're a newer player, all right, why don't you continue? Because I actually have something interesting to add about this, but
Yeah,
I don't want to
absolutely.
steal your thunder.
So yeah, a lot of newer players will have a very tunnel visiony kind of view and almost overcommit to certain things about their build. It either be anti-infantry, anti-large, anti-single entity monster, anti-cavalry, and they think about matchup knowledge is very important and all, but you still need tools to deal with essentially everything that your opponent can bring. I'm of the mind that bringing balanced builds are much more enjoyable and much more like healthy for a player to learn in this game. Although there's always exceptions to every single rule, and there's of course going to be exceptions for this one as well. You can totally, it is 100% possible to overcommit in something, but you have to know what you're doing. And so, Wicked, what were you trying to say?
That's something that'll definitely happen when you're newer. I find two things. I think learning as a newer player, learning balanced builds, like balanced builds in general, is like a pattern almost for several different factions, can help you learn those factions faster because there is a basic pattern to building balanced armies. If you play a balanced build well, you could probably beat about 75% of ladder players. Now, that being said, the catch-22 with that is if you bring a balanced build and you don't micro certain key aspects quite well, you can lose pretty easily to more highly skilled players. Whereas if you go with maybe a one-track, it's less of a one-track mind or a one idea,
Focus.
but more of a like, I know this player, I know his style, this map is ideal for this, so I'm going to overcommit to this one thing because I know that it's a big risk, but it's a big reward. Whereas if I bring a balanced build versus someone who's better than me, I have to micro it perfectly or I might lose to them. So that's like something to keep in mind, I think.
Are discussing, and yeah, absolutely. So usually how we do things here in the Noob Hammer, we've got quite a few people hopping in, and there are a lot of silent. We've got to see everybody. So we generally have what we usually have our noobs face each other, and we'll have some constructive criticism on what they're doing possibly wrong and how you should change the way you're thinking. This is going to be another one of those. It's going to be a very like, we're not going to be critiquing too much on micro and too much critiquing on like, let's say like matchup knowledge. We're going to be critiquing more so what you should bring in your army and why you should bring them for certain situations. So if any two of you would like to hop in, I've already made a lobby. It's called Noob Hammer and password is 123. I also put a link in the chat for the Discord in which we're discussing in. So feel free to come by if you're in the chat and want to like listen in and start playing. But yeah, so if you're not friends with me, please just message me so I can like friend you.
I'm gonna advertise your stream.
All right, thanks, Wicked.
Places. Yeah, I'll hang out. I've got nothing to do today, so
yeah, yeah. Today's been a rather quiet day, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's just very quiet.
But yeah, if two people would like to jump in, and if no one,
I wouldn't mind. I can't see your lobby though.
All right.
Add him on Steam.
It's that
so
joke.
if you're in different regions and you're not friends on Steam, you're probably not gonna.
Yeah. So I am American, and I know a lot of you are
filthy
European.
American.
Yes.
There we go.
He's a Western wanker, is what he's saying.
All right. Hey, Taco's in my lobby. Get away. Go away.
Get out of here, Taco.
Wait, Europe has ceased
All right.
being
So
the
let's
West?
look at Taco's army. No. Okay.
No, Europe is ascended. Europe is ascended. Now the West's west.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, Taco. The only critique that I have is that there's no Arcosotex. You have all the anti-large. You don't have enough anti-infantry, obviously. Jeez, don't you know?
Well, your friend code's never been posted in.
Yeah, I will post my
friend
friend code right now into the thing.
Never before in history has this happened. Crazy.
Wait, are you there? Yeah,
There's
I'm
the
here.
friend codes.
Oh,
There it
no,
is.
I
I
don't
tested that build we were working on yesterday, and it works really well, actually, online, surprisingly.
Warrior priests are pretty good.
Yes.
Wait, what was your build? What was the build?
You were testing Banner of Eternal Flame with Pistoliers on a Warrior Priest.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, I think
It's fun.
How much did you commit into it?
Bunter,
You bring a
tried to do
huntsman.
that. You tried to do.
No,
Huh?
it was what?
All right. So I put my friend code in. I should be getting invites. We've got one.
Just no
already.
one sends you an invite. you
Yeah,
know?
everyone loves me. And feel free to hop in the
Magic.
lobby. I will. I'll let
What a-
Taco stay for now.
What a filthy this profile picture.
Japanese hawk.
Disgusting. Filthy.
Also,
Are there even hawks in Japan?
sure there can.
Well,
be.
that's why I'm the Japanese hawk. Gotta think about these things.
Hey there, Nathan. And there, everybody in stream. Just so you guys know, I put a link where what we're doing right now is teaching some newer players and how to think about army composition and what they should be thinking about when building matchups and how to make more balanced builds necessarily. So, obviously, we have Flying Taco in the lobby. He's a very big noob.
Yeah.
It's not like
Clearly-
he's not an ever choosed or anything. He's like
No, he's filthy casual.
yeah, he's a filthy casual.
He's an advanced noob.
Yeah, see the army he has now, that's pretty good.
If someone wants to hop in before me, I don't know what's happening to my Steam right now.
You've killed yourself.
It just crashed on me. It's gone.
Oh no.
Would it be Warhammer without a crash?
I can
Yeah.
join it then. Is it called Noob Hammer? Wait,
Yeah, the
Dougie.
lobby is called Noob Hammer. Password 123. Feel free to hop in.
Okay, why is it a 1v4? Why is it a out
Oh,
of 4
because
people?
Taco's in here, and I don't have the heart to kick
Oh,
him.
I would
Okay,
ban
one
him
second,
if it was up
one
to me.
second.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Second. Taco, get the out before I destroy you.
Wait,
That
please don't tell me Deadly Bunnies is gonna be the first one playing. Like we have actual noobs here trying to learn, and they're gonna be.
Okay, then I'll also
like,
skip the first game.
this
I
goddamn
don't want to
God
be-
games.
I mean, for the past 3 times Bunnies has played, he brings Tretch. I mean, that's pretty much what he does.
Look, yeah, and
For the
also
past
last-
3
the
ones,
last-
I was forced to
Let's
play
be
him, and
fair.
every single time I faced
Let's
Tretch.
be fair. He
Look, yeah,
also
but-
played football.
No, you get the
so
Gorse
he's
once
not
in a
a
while,
one-trick
too.
pony.
every time I've done Tretch, I lose. So clearly I'm a noob.
But you're not even changing from Tretch. That's the problem.
You don't.
Size, Samurai, you're here. Hi, Samurai.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey,
Wait,
Waiting for your
easy.
lesson.
Mr. Pineapple Warrior.
Yes.
Oh wait, that's Ronan.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Taco.
Oh, Taco
Where is
left.
Taco?
He
Taco
was
left.
in my lobby. I kicked him. Unfortunately he's too much of a noob. I can't help him.
Okay, so actually want to learn things here.
Yeah, he's not like one of the players that's gonna play in the versus.
I mean,
No.
I what was
Or
it?
win it.
I had my I feel kind of bad. I had Taco. Taco.
Wow.
You ran away from me. You said you dare
Oh.
approach and then you ran away.
Hello
coward.
there, Mr. Taco.
No, he removed my presence from the
Dude,
lobby.
you
Are
just
you
couldn't
here to
handle me.
get learned, Taco?
Oh, this is
I'm
gonna
here
get
to learn
spicy.
how to choose a lord.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
we-
So what
we
kind of
can't
matchup do you
have
guys want to go
everyone.
with?
I'm fine with anything. I just want to get better at any kind of matchup.
Alrighty.
I
So
will
you're
try.
winning.
Though I won't play greenskins. I
Understandable.
find them
This is
incredibly
a
dull.
man of actual morals.
I play trash.
All right. So
I'll
let's try
play
the Vampire
Greenskin.
Coast mirror match.
No morals.
Please.
No, please.
Okay.
I mean,
I,
they're
I
worse
hope
than
they are
the
gonna
matchups.
nerf them in the next patch. I really.
I hope they delete the faction.
I
Dude,
hope they're gonna get
Coast-
buffed. I want
Coast is not
bombers to
OP.
be
Coast-
cheaper.
I think if you
Coast is
understand,
underpowered. Coast is
just
underpowered.
understand that the employees at CA are composed of vampires, orcs, and rats, and everything makes sense.
I feel like the Skaven got in like 4 DLCs.
White.
I don't know
If they are
why.
vampires, why the vampire counts are trash?
Because
They're
the
not.
Coast is
They're
bad.
not
That's
trash.
why-
They're
They're
trash.
not.
Look,
They're
How do you
not.
hey, you know
explain
what?
the influx of elves?
You know what?
I was just
vampire counts are OP, man. You've not seen the power of Gorst and 2 necromancers.
Show them, Bunny.
You can do
show
3
them,
Wind of
show
Death.
them foot Ghost.
Show
double
them the
Wind of
horse
Death.
power.
Show them the illegal build, please.
All right, so it's vampire counts versus Skaven. Is this the matchup?
Okay.
Very cool.
Are you also streaming this on Discord, or do I have to open YouTube?
You have to open YouTube.
Damn.
You're a crafty one. You take the spectators.
Getting views? This is crazy. What's this?
True, he only does this to, like, you know, boost his channel.
Oh, absolutely.
Wait,
I don't care
is
about
that-
all of you. It's not like I've done this several times before with that posting on the channel.
Yeah, I
Wait,
was.
who's Gorst?
Wait, why
Boston
would you
before.
change to code? Okay, so let's pick an actual matchup so we can start.
Okay, yeah, natural matchup.
All right,
I'm gonna
Gorst,
tell you the matchup.
Okay.
Empire against Dwarves.
Empire. Stop it.
Oh,
Stop it.
Time to bring 5 Hellstrom Rocket
Let's pick a
Riders.
normal
I'll
matchup.
try my hand at it, but let's save it for the goofy end.
There we go. That's
Wait,
my
so who's
Empire versus Power
Ghostbusters?
build.
First
Wait,
of all, yeah, who's Ghostbusters?
Who's Ghostbusters? Yeah, because I know he's been in tournaments and stuff, but I don't know if that's his Discord name. I think he said like hello there. Are you in the Discord?
Is it Shadow of Nagarythe?
No, Ghostbusters in here. He's in the LFG. If you look at him, he was the last person to talk.
Oh,
Wait, who is he?
Say
he's
that.
not here.
He's not in.
Yeah.
Okay, why did he show up? I'm so confused.
Okay.
Because he's
Because 1, 2, 3 is
He's
the
a Tomb
obvious.
Kings player. That's
Goodbye, Ghostbusters. I'm sorry.
No,
If you want to
No.
play,
Come
you have
on.
to get views. That's the only
he
way.
has the perfect army, and judging by Noctilius, he's not on the Necrofax. Come on.
Actually, you know, I'm actually really okay with having this matchup starting. Oh God,
What, this one?
this vampire pirates versus Empire. That's a pretty interesting matchup. Usually everyone
That's
just
a good one.
bans.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Nathan Cohen in my chat. All right, hey, did you see the Discord link? Do you mind if I? No, you can absolutely stay. But do you mind if you hop into chat with us as well, if you're comfortable? You don't have to talk, but just be there so that you can like listen to us in like real time.
There's a delay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
delay.
Yeah.
For Vampire Coast, the bans are Dwarves, and then
Dwarves and
Empire or
Empire.
High Elves.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I
we
don't-
can start with Vampire Pirates versus Empire, which is a
Actually,
pretty fun
can I-
matchup.
Can I
I
do
think.
Beastman?
Oh, Beachman is an even more fun matchup in my opinion, because
I want to do this matchup. I
It's
just want to get better at the Beastman matchup.
yeah, this matchup is actually not as bad for the Beastman as most people think. Although it's still, well, yeah, it's Vampire Pirates, so it's still going to be Vampire Pirate favored because that's them. But
So, by the
decent
way,
matchup.
Ducky,
Yeah.
can you do me a favor, please?
sure,
Stay with your mouse on top of the bombers, please. I want to see their stats,
So
and
how,
I don't want to open the game.
how would you go about doing this matchup?
Are you on your
I mean, I
computer?
could probably build a build and then just
yeah.
see what-
So usually how
Um,
this goes when Zach runs it is that you guys start the match, you have your little skirmish combat, see who wins, and then we'll start critiquing on how you could probably fix this. But again, this is more focused on builds, more so than actual, what's it called? Than actual micro and things like that. Obviously, the Vampire Coast player is going to have a lot less micro problems than the Beastman player.
It's not about decision making.
He doesn't have, so it's okay. Well, we'll let him have a match. When you both are ready, just ready up and we can start the match. Do you still need me to hover over bombers for you, Samurai?
No, thank you.
I've never played Beastman. What lores do they have in terms of magic?
Okay, they have beast.
So
They
those-
have
have
wild.
wilds.
They have wild, beast,
And
and death and
shadow.
shadows. So they have their own unique lord, which is wild. Then they have death, shadows, and beast.
and
and
don't remember,
wild
keep your
Cyber
armies
summon.
legal. But in terms of Beastman Lords,
I-
there's Morgar, and there's Morgar, but don't worry about that.
And then there's the beast lord.
No,
He's
then
above
there's,
Morgan. He's a-
Khazrak.
The
Yeah,
Beast
there's
Lord's
also
fairly
counter.
legit.
Do you really want to like not have 70% missile resistance against Vampire Coast?
Morgul's terrible,
Maybe.
man. Morgul's boring.
All right, Gorst is ready to go.
Okay. I don't know. I have no infantry. I have no frontline infantry. But let's give this a go. I
Yeah,
kind of
which-
built my build and then realized I didn't have any.
Which beacon?
Make your build as pretend this was like you're trying to win. Let's say it's a tournament match. Memes are obviously allowed because who doesn't meme in
I've
tournaments?
seen what he brings in tournament matches.
You do
Don't
not-
make
yeah.
this a tournament
Don't do
match,
this
right?
to yourself.
Okay, you've seen what I bring in tournament
Yeah, I've
matches.
seen your
Like,
Empire Mirror matches. Don't worry.
I've seen it today, yeah.
I fought Bunter against it. It was kind of grim. I feel like I shouldn't have won. I somehow won, and I still don't believe how I done it.
Yeah, I lost it. You didn't win it.
Yeah.
So
no.
Wild's the one that is a Cypher summon, right? Or is that
Saying that.
Mortar?
Bunter, you didn't bring any magic in that matchup.
Oh yeah, that was horrible. Yeah.
That was a horrendous build. I don't. Okay, through the second cycle then. Okay, I guess I can give this a go. I don't really know what I'm doing here.
That's perfect. It's the first step to become the ever chosen.
The first step to become the ever choose is chevrons.
Oh yeah, chevron off everything. There you go.
All right, everybody, ready up.
He actually
Gold
did
chevrons
the
to
madman.
Dwarf Warriors.
See, golden chevron dwarf warriors are just
Worse longbeards.
there's just more longbeards.
But
So
they're
the-
worse in every way.
The limit
But
is
they don't-
5 longbeards. So what if you had
But
10 though?
they don't give like plus
That
eight
was such a
leadership
dirty
rounds
strat
and-
when they were 50 gold cheaper. Which is ancient, but
Wait,
it's
this
fun.
is illegal. You can have. This is legal build, right? I think this is legal. It's been a
I
while
believe
since
your
I've-
Why?
build's
It's
legal.
been,
Shouldn't
it's been a while since I've done a proper Beastman build.
Proper, he says.
Well, normally I just like, yeah, who needs infantry? I'm just gonna go full Centigals. My tournament builds are weird, man. I got
You could have always played Sartosa, but you decided not to.
I wanted to do the Beastman build. I wanted to do Beastman. I was gonna do Sartosa or Regiment of Renown, but I lost before I could play that. I lost the second round. I lost both fights. It's kind of sad.
You lost your Empire Mirror match.
No, I won the Empire Mirror match.
Okay.
I lost in round 2 against
J Phoenix?
Well,
not
yeah.
J Phoenix, like JK on like the hyphen bit.
Oh yeah, he's in my Snotling League. I have actually
Yeah,
faced him, I think.
JFK?
No,
I am not
JK. It's like
playing my
JAYK.
K and then some. I can't. It's like a
Underscore
hyphen or
something.
Underscore something. Then and then it's called like the Beast Jack or something like that, like a Steam name. I lost. This is legal, right?
Yeah, let me just check your build real quick. I hope everything's legal. Now my frame rate
Oh.
is a little choppy. Do we have a spectator in here with us? I think we do, but
Yeah, Ilmatar.
I was one of the first to load in, but your build's legal.
all right. So
brilliant.
we've got some Warhounds things here. 1, 2, 3,
You know what?
4. 2 spears there. I'm trying to look for the legal stuff. All right, we've got one of those. Do we have 2 of those? Do we have 3 of those? No, we're seeing fine. Beastman army is legal. Now let's look at vampire.
What do we
Ghost.
have, Daki? Like 20 seconds delay?
What'd you say, Samurai?
Do you have like a 20 seconds delay on your
I
live?
just post it like whatever delay. I just posted like it's supposed to be close.
You have to go to low latency mode if you don't want a delay. If there is, there's nothing he can do about it unless he wants to restart the stream.
It's basically YouTube's post-processing at work.
Yeah, pretty
It
what he said.
Sometimes wants to,
1, 2,
sometimes
3,
it doesn't.
1, 1, 2. All right, interesting build by both people.
Vampire Coast build is legal. 100%.
Yeah, it's legal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. All right.
Yeah, I think that Lord should be banned.
I think everything in Vamco should be banned.
Nah, man. Luther Harkon sucks, mate. Luther Harkon sucks.
That's meta defining right there.
Single-handedly, Luthor can win the match against Dark Elves.
But he's
He
like, oh
really
yeah,
needs
but
to
he,
be
Damn
stronger.
close,
He
like
needs to
a-
be casting.
people are like, oh yeah, he wins the match, but he's like a quarter of your army, so he kind of has to overperform.
Watch next update
I
using
mean,
magic.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
he is a quarter of your army, but he's the better duelist in this game yet.
Yeah, but I
And
feel like people
Dude,
tend to
on-
overestimate his ability to kill infantry. Like, it's still a terror, guys. His splash attack is like
oh, but
practically
he doesn't need to
non-existent.
kill infantry.
On foot, Kazrak would like pimp slap him. Sigfold would pimp slap him hard.
Yeah,
It's,
but Sigvald's
someone ever
problem
brings
isn't that he
Sigvald.
can't pimp slap people, it's that he can't catch up to him.
Dude, you don't need to catch up to them if they come to you. You just
Worst
stand there and
thing-
wait for them to come to you.
You just
You
have to
charm them.
outrun your problems.
You just charm them.
All right, good luck. Have fun, guys.
To give Sigvald seduction.
You can start the match whenever
Yeah.
you're ready.
Why
Can we
doesn't
not-
Sigvald have
Oh, cool.
seduction?
Just
Because-
a
And
weird
enchanting
way of
beauty
rampaging.
also.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
CA hate chaos.
He doesn't even
That's
float.
true.
I wish he had like the floating animation like he does in lore.
Yeah.
I could be completely off on that, but people against Vampire Coast will usually build against like trying to kill Luthor, even if you don't bring
Yeah.
him. It's hilarious.
Well, yeah, then you just kind of generalize it to killing a large target because you're
And
going
then
to
you
see.
bring Aranessa.
Oh no, please
Oh
no.
no.
Dude, Aranessa OP.
Aranessa is the one no one expects. When you see her, you're like, I just did not build anything to deal with her.
I genuinely
Yeah.
love her battlefield control though.
Dude,
She's pretty
Aranessa's
good.
Quite
great.
fun.
She's just a bad version of Noctilus, I think. On foot. I mean, it's anti-large halberd, but he's a vampire who heals.
But she gives
But I mean,
AoE
can-
anti-large.
he
She
can
turns everyone
summon-
into an ankle biter. Sorry, Nickbit.
Really good.
Oh no worries.
Is there a stream going somewhere?
Yes, Poison Deathly YouTube channel.
Gotama
Alright.
should be able to screen share on the actual Discord call as well, because I believe that's how he records. So if he becomes a spectator in this match as well, that can happen. But we're just looking through the match right now. Don't make too many call outs as they're in the middle of combat.
Oh, I cannot make callouts because they're gonna be like 20 seconds late.
Yeah, we are really delayed.
I mean, I won't be. I'm
is-
literally listening to you now.
Is
so.
that a Beast Lord or Kazrak?
Beast Lord?
It's a beast lord on a
that's
chariot
good.
with the horn.
Ooh, nice rock on the crab. 20 seconds ago.
Also, in case anyone cares, it's a Bray Shaman of Wild with Wildtide and the Summon.
What does Biotide do?
It's just a AoE explosion.
It's a brain bursta,
Um,
but like maybe a little bit better. They're around the same power level of brain bursta and Vile
I
Tide.
think they're actually the exact same in terms of values.
Does the
Like-
Overcast do more AP damage, or is it
No.
damage in general?
No, it's just non-armor damage.
Okay.
It's not a headbutt.
Right now, I would say it's
I think decent, honestly.
Beastmen did really well actually with their backline attacks.
I had a really nice approach.
I mean, the fact that the archers are uncompromised is really good for them.
People think this matchup is worse for Beastmen than it actually is, I feel like. I've heard from a lot of people that this is, like, horrible, but I feel like this is better than Beastmen against Vampire counts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's like one of the
Oh
worst.
yeah,
matchups in the
yeah,
game.
this is a lot better than that one.
Oh yeah,
You don't
Vampire Coast doesn't have Blood Knights.
Yeah, so you don't,
Or a Mortis, for that matter.
Oh, Mortis can be killed.
Yeah,
Blood
but
Knights don't.
Mortis plus 3 Blood Knights.
It can
Oh.
be killed, it's still annoying.
Huh.
Ooh, we've lost some leadership on the Beastmen as they tried to fight Luther Harkin. Fortunately, Luther Harkin is Luther Harkin.
No question. What makes Luther Harkin so good? I have no idea.
So
He's a
double-
terror guy, so
double
you can also
regeneration.
shoot.
Double regeneration, first of all. While he's in melee, he also shoots with the pistol. And he has one of the better pistols in the game.
His stats are...
Oh, my
He
beast
also-
lord routed or
He
died.
also
No,
has
he's
Tom and
shattered.
Hornswoggle, which are very useful for sniping
Okay, I
out lords.
probably lost this. My beast lord shattered.
Also has a couple of abilities that like reset timer for enemy abilities like plus 15 seconds, which is nice.
But no one
I mean,
uses
the
the
whole
slam
point-
gold.
You know,
The whole
someone
point-
once denied me Malus with that
Oh.
ability.
Okay. I haven't seen it since Old Orcs, like, to deny war. But yeah, he causes poison, he reduces melee resistance.
I've
One
lost it.
swaggle
sort of-
shoots.
Archon's whole crutch was supposed to be that he doesn't do magic, or he can't cast anything, but like, it doesn't really affect that much, because you just bring lore vampires from the heck, and that solves everything.
Just bring one of your awesome heroes, and it's fine.
Yeah, Vamco's heroes are so good.
Yes, poison too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's on the Terror guys.
Kind of gross.
Yeah, Luther, the fact that he shoots in melee and he has regeneration and he's just like near unkillable is just it's rough.
Also unbreakable.
Oh yeah,
He
and
is
he's undead.
killable, but you need to kill him 1.5 times.
If you don't kill Luther and he has 100 health, but he has like a full regen bar, he will get all the way back. It's
Yep.
very annoying.
What's his
Speaking of
mini
which, he
defense,
also
by the
regens.
way?
Does he have? He does have weakness to fire, though. I think, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does,
he has
because it's a
regens.
Terrorgeist.
He normally regenerates. I mean,
His
the
stat
thing
line
is-
is surprisingly average with 44, 42, but he just brings so much to the table
Oh.
for the cost.
You
He
say
just
average,
has-
but 42 for a big monster is high melee defense.
Yeah.
Whenever,
Yeah,
someone who
okay,
plays-
the defense, yeah. But the offense stats, like, if you compare it to dragons, to phoenixes, like, you could have more, but he's also undead.
What's
Archon also
Terror
gives you the
Geist-
flying air force
What's
sometimes.
the Terror Geist stat? Quite low, aren't they? Like 26? is it?
Yeah.
You gotta cycle charge with Terrorgeist to get their charge bonus. You can't leave them in sustained combat because they have low melee attack.
Yeah.
But this is the Vampire Coast Terrorgeist.
Which is
It's the
far
same.
better because it doesn't have bonus versus large, and so
It
Yeah,
has a
but it actually
normal
is.
stat line. And it actually has AoE for some reason. The
What do you
normal
mean?
Terrorgeist has really shitty splash radius.
Oh, you mean splash target?
Yeah. I
yeah.
think just splash on the animations itself.
Speaking of charge bonus, does anyone,
I
does
think they
any
have, like,
lord have
40
worse charge bonus
targets.
than Kai?
The thing is, splash targets doesn't matter as much. You need the animations to pull it off. Like, take the Black Orc Big Boss, he has splash targets of I think 10. He'll never hit 10 people.
Yeah.
Because for every people on the 10, it applies the melee attack, melee defense thing. So yeah,
It
maybe.
also comes down to animations using it.
My goodness,
So-
2 Cygors just beat up a crab.
Damn right.
Yeah,
Beauty.
and then the
Second.
terror
And
guy
then
is
it's gonna
gonna
get
do
the
the
hex.
job.
No,
Yeah.
he's just using the heck.
Ooh,
Yeah, on the
Using the heck.
Death Terrors, Night Terrors.
yes they are actually. Oh.
I want to kill the Leviathan. I want to kill the Leviathan. If I can kill the Leviathan, I'm happy.
You've cracked the turtle's shell.
Shoot
don't
the
need to watch
Leviathan
that.
with the rocks.
Oh! Get sniped!
Well, you can't miss a Leviathan, can you? I mean, you can. Cygors are.
Yes, you
I've,
can.
I've seen
Yes,
I read
crazier
always
things.
an arm
Do your Ungle have no shooting orders?
They do, but they're like not hitting. They're not doing the orders.
Oh.
They're like, oh yeah, we can do this, and then rooks up closer.
The
Yeah,
Night
that does happen a
Terrors
lot.
might be a good
Oh, there
target.
you go.
And I think this is pretty clearly in Vampire Coast's favor at this point.
Oh, dude, my Beast Lord routed like shattered so early on.
Yeah.
That's why you want Morgur.
Yeah, but I don't like Morga.
I'm sorry for
In
you.
this matchup,
People
you
don't
need
like
to take
Morgan.
him.
Morga's
Yeah.
no
True, but
fun.
it's also kind of boring.
Morgan's so dull. It's such a
Well,
dull.
he's
basic
boring,
art.
but 75% restore is pretty nice.
You can avoid him in
major.
some matchups, but here, like, Luther will just sit on top of you and laugh.
I killed the crab though.
Yeah, you did. Surprisingly, it just took your entire army to do it.
I killed a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, you did. You actually did really well in your backline pressure and stuff like that. He had Vampire Coast had like what, a halberd and a bomber left alive by the end of that.
Yeah, and then the Night Terrors and then Luther. So.
And then the Night
Oh,
Terrors
yeah,
and then
big-
Luther
Only a
and a
bomber.
crab.
Only a
Big
bomber.
terror single entities, you know, Beastmen have fun with that, right?
Neither time. Real quick noob question: where do you watch the game?
So let's see. Actually, we have Gotama.
YouTube.
Gotama. There's two ways you can watch this. You can either watch this via the YouTube channel that I linked on. It's under Poison Ducky, and everything is going to be streamed. And I believe Gotama, if you can come on over into this lobby, and actually, yeah,
I'm coming.
that would be great
Please
as well.
stream it for everyone. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Very cool.
So
I want to follow Poison
let
Ducky.
me reduce my spectators to 1, just to make
Oh, I
sure.
could
Who's the other one?
bring-
Ilmar.
Just
Alright,
bring
yeah,
more
Ilmar left.
with the
I
summon.
ran.
All right.
guess, like,
so
I know some people are like, oh yeah, just bring Spawn and Morga on this.
No.
Okay.
It's kind of the problem when you have like a one face
Against
meta.
the Vampire Coast, I'm not a big fan.
So
Welcome
let's
to
look
the most
at the
boring
post-match
faction.
analysis, guys. And I got another friends list. Why do you guys? It's kind of simple on why Beastmen lost this, but why don't somebody try to explain it to me? We're looking at this build. I believe you can see. Everybody can see.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the build up.
Anyone want to go?
It's because I suck.
No, you're not. You're not bad, deadly bunnies.
Lack of Sons of Goros.
Oh, we are still looking at. Right now, we are looking at the Beastman build. Let me
Alright.
check.
Yeah, that sneaky Morga that was definitely there before.
Yeah, okay, so actually, no, that was just to check what I would have to do to get Morga in.
Oh,
Let me-
okay.
let
Take off
let me.
him.
I
Oh,
accepted
I
your
just
invite,
took
Gotama.
off. I took off some chevrons.
Oh, okay.
So this was what my build was. Sorry, I was just seeing what I would have to do to get Morga in. But what about Malagor? You know, he's okay.
I love him, but no.
What does Malagor offer that Mortar doesn't? I mean, I've never.
Magic. Okay, so what Morga has magic, goodish recharge rate, and he can give leadership to like your local area, but you don't want him in fighting, so it's kind of pointless. And he reduces enemy leadership, which is great. You know, when you realize they're undead.
Yeah. Also, he has a tendency to kill himself every time he overcasts.
Yeah, he overcasts and it wipes like half his health.
Overcasting anything sometimes just destroys your caster. It's very annoying.
All right.
The impressive part is his melee stat line is actually really good for a caster,
Yeah.
and he'll get tossed around like a
All the
sheet of
time.
paper because he has no mass.
He has no mass for some reason.
And it doesn't fly.
No, you see, he wants to fly, he just can't.
Oh, hi Falcon. Come here in the Noob Bomber Discord.
Whoever's saying the ROR cyber doesn't make sense, you have no idea about the art of fun.
Hey, Falcon.
Ben the barman, you just don't understand the Beastman. If you don't bring the ROR cyber, how else are you gonna snipe the crabs?
Hey, Falcon.
Wait, is this actual ideas or is this a joke?
Oh, dude, this is me taking.
All right, guys. All right, so let's get back into subject. I
Sorry,
think the
yeah.
biggest reason that Beastman lost here is it was pretty apparent while the game was going, and is he could not deal with any of the single entity monsters that Coast can bring, because Coast is just lizardmen with guns, right? Very fun in that way. But so let's look at his build of Butcher's essentially the only anti-single entity monster, like sort of tool, is really just the Butcher's of Kalkengard, and maybe if you really stretch it, the Eye of Morsleep and the summon.
Beast Lord.
Yeah, but
yes,
they
the Beast Lord.
The
bait
Beast
on the
Lord can
crab.
definitely bump the.
So
they
you can
beat-
also summon the Cygor actually does act as like a bootleg giant, so he can act as like a anti-single entity monster if they stay in melee against them, which there's not too much reason to suit, because like the rocks are less dangerous than its melee.
That's why you bring the Eye of Morsleep.
Yeah, and then
freeze them
you.
in
I
place.
saw you did that combo where you netted the crab, and then you had 2 Cygors slapping at it. That was really
Yeah.
cool. Unfortunately, it only works one time.
No,
And
man.
Luther still
you
lived.
have 3 casts on that.
So a large thing you're missing here is mass. So let's look at the roles of each unit in your army. So you look at Ungor Herd, all anti-infantry. Ungor spears are really just for chaff, so you don't get flanked more so, and maybe for more backline protection against either scurvy dogs. And your Ungor raiders are going to be, their role is going to be anti-infantry along with anti-air. Now, you may think Ungor Raiders have like a sort of niche. They can also switch to anti-single entity if it's really large and big, specifically crabs, and specifically for the Morngul Hunters they can shoot out. But right now, you have really nothing to do. You have absolutely no way to pin in Luther Harkin, with exception of these Centigors. But Centigors are just like, they're so squishy and they die to like essentially everything. That's why I don't really like Centigors. I'd much rather have Minotaurs with shields in this matchup. But I don't play Beastmen too often. But overall, you're really overcommitting on getting into the back line of a gun. You did that very well, actually. You got into the back line of the guns. You killed essentially everything. You had the magic damage to deal with Sirens. You just didn't have enough to deal with anything heavily armored, unfortunately. And that's really what ended you. The fact that both Luther in combination with the crab is really just what won him the game. And so how would you like try to change your build around so you can deal with both of them? Try to make your build a little bit more balanced.
Okay. I guess get rid of this. I want hounds.
Yeah, I like the hounds too. They were pretty good.
Some people say spawn. I could go pigs, I guess. Pigs are pretty good.
Pigs are interesting in that they're against Coast because they're pretty low leadership. Again, pigs are more anti-infantry, but they can definitely be used for mass reasons. They're cheap mass to pin in Luther every time he lands, so that's actually not a bad choice at all.
Yeah. I guess I don't really need the spearmen, I guess.
Another thing about the about Beastman builds, I forgot exactly who told me this, but it turns out when it comes to affordability, you generally don't want to pick both the Butchers and the Eye of Morsleep in the same army because you kind of have a conflict here. Do you see how like so your Viletide is going to deal with the magic damage of Sirens and many things like that. You dealt with that very well. The Eye of Morsleep is more of a defensive piece. And it did well there because the Vampire Coast didn't bring anything to counter it, but you pay so much for this when you already have so much anti-infantry. Remember, the role of the Eye of Morsleep is anti-infantry, and everything in your army is anti-infantry so far.
See what I guess I could cut that, get to... Oh no, I can't even get to non-shielded variants. And that sucks. Harpies are alright, I think. I don't really like them.
So Harpies are essentially really anti-air, but if you have 4 or 5 Ungor Raiders, you can feasibly deal with the deck droppers.
I just hate Harpies, personally. I don't like them.
It's okay to not take them in this matchup in my...
I think you don't want any direwolves, or whatever they're called, Chaos Warhounds. I don't like them versus undead just because they route. They'll like get on the guns, do half HP, and then they'll route because they're so low HP. Like just getting more Ungors is better. Like I just have a front line of Ungor spears and a few Gore herd. And Morgar because he doesn't die to guns or crabs or anything.
Morgar's so boring.
Well, he
doesn't want
best
to play Morgur.
Look,
you can then do Kazrak because Kazrak's cooler.
Tackle.
Yeah.
You'll just have this replay of the same game. He'll just get shot from the air by a lord that can fly and go, haha, you can't.
Well, he refuses to play Morgar, so what do you want me to do?
Are you happy now?
So, if you refuse to play Morgur, don't play Beastmen against.
It can work, just not against Coast.
Screw you, I'll make it work.
But put him on a chariot,
Listen,
then I guess.
you have more chance to make Malus work against vampire curse than make.
Well, the Beast Lord or Kazarek on a chariot can be like Terrorgeist bait, right? You keep him.
No.
You keep him near. You can.
No.
He's gonna die. He's gonna get shot. Unfortunately.
Fine.
Yeah, he's gonna get
But-
shot and he's gonna die. That's
Are you
it.
happy now? This boring build. You want to
The
tell me? Oh yeah,
the
bring
target is
sword.
like
Bring
never
sword.
actually gonna land to kill your lord. And then it's gonna do the same thing for your caster.
We have a lot of money left, and that would just be gore herd spam, I suppose.
What's up next?
You know what? You could have double caster.
Could have double caster.
Yeah, Manticore Salmon and Viletide. Because one of your caster is probably gonna die.
Poor guy.
Not have the Cygor summon them.
Well, you have 2 Manticores.
Yeah.
2 Manticores are very good.
And then you have the 3 single entity squad with double caster and Morgur, which is.
Should I bring them on chariot or bring the casters on foot?
Oh no! If you take 2 caster, they are both on foot
Okay.
because they are way cheaper.
Okay, bring another pig, I guess.
Wait, why is the first caster so much?
I think he was on
Oh,
chariot.
shit.
Oh no, he hit the auto. No, he hit the auto.
Oh, it's because the he had he was
And he probably had full spells when you hit him.
he
right?
had the jagged dagger.
Oh yeah.
That's not really a downside.
I mean, like,
I like
take them
that.
with no abilities. Oh no! Only the spells.
I mean, I think this can also work against
So what? You
Coast,
just
the
don't
build
have
I
jagged
did.
dagger? What's your build? I can't see your build.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wait like 20 seconds until it pops up on stream,
it'll
but
pop up.
basically,
I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
the Sons of Goros basically are there for Sirens, and the Bulls just run after Luther and hope he catches them.
So the problem with Sons of Gorus is that yes, they're armor piercing, and they.
Oh
can,
no, it's just about magic.
Yeah. Okay, they're magic. So you deal with the Sirens with them specifically. You're going to use the Gore Bull to probably fight the single entity monsters in combination with Butchers of Kalkengard. You have 3 Ungor Raiders. See, I would say the only thing you're missing here is 3 Ungor's Raiders is just not enough to defend against like bats, gun bat swarm. Like let's say he brings like 2 deck droppers with bombs, and like 2 just normal cheap 750 deck droppers. Not even 750. What am I talking about?
If he really commits to the air, I suppose, like...
And they'll also be shooting at Centigores. So if he brings like normal deck droppers, they'll be shooting at your Centigores, and then he'll use the bombs deck droppers to deal with your Ungor Raiders. And then when he deals with all of those, his infantry, he'll have way too much infantry, and then he'll just sit it with his SEMs. So this build can work, but there's definitely an obvious weak point to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick it. I wouldn't go for this matchup despite liking Beastman, but generally, like...
Wait, what are we
Would
talking about
Centigores with throwing axes work?
Wait, is it the same matchup? Are we on the same matchup?
Yeah, we're still talking about Beastman versus Vampire Ghost.
We're still talking about Coast.
You can go infantry spam with lots of Ungor Raiders and just Centigores too, but you'd need like at least 1 Mino. But I still wouldn't bring Hounds because they lose, or Centigores.
I posted the build in training ground chat. How would that do against Coast?
Oh, it has harpies. Disgusting.
I was thinking about it, but...
Oh, Harpies can help counter deck droppers, but if they bring Luther and deck droppers, then the Harpies won't do anything. And the deck droppers can just sit over their army, and if they have like 1 pistol mob or a pistol summon, then the Harpies get shot. Like I used to try to bring Harpies to counter deck droppers, but now
I was thinking mostly to zone out the Luther. And
Luther can fight them, and then if there's a zombie someone on the ground, they just shoot the Harpies.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's something like I tried to make work for a while, but I don't know if the harpies are actually worth
Yeah,
it.
I meant
Like,
it
they're good
more.
on paper. They're good on paper.
I meant it more like on protecting my caster. And
yeah, you do
possibly
need
the
to.
lord.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
basically
would just keep your caster near your Minos, so if Luther tries to dive them, a Mino dives them. Or you can bring a Razorgore herd. They're really good. Like I've had 2 Razorgore herd kill like 2 isolated units of Leviathans with a Lord help as well, and some. So they have like so much mass where if Luther tries to snipe your caster and a unit of pigs, the unit of pigs can just prevent Luther from taking off again.
So like you would switch the 3 harpies for a 3 Razorgore herd?
Maybe 2 Razorgores and another gore herd, unshielded.
All right.
And I would bring the spear ungores instead of the non-spear ungores, just because they'll still beat the deckhand mobs, and they'll help versus Morn ghouls and stuff.
Those are spear ones.
Oh well, I'm looking. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the one on stream.
All right, yeah.
Oh, true. They actually have 12 bonus versus large. I didn't consider that. I thought it was lower.
Oh man. All right. So we're looking at Deadly Bunnies now. Other build was good, but the biggest weakness was definitely air builds. Oh, nothing more.
I actually have to run because I'm being called out, so I have game 3 maybe.
Alrighty. So
I hope to not try to make this a reoccurring thing.
I'd probably say your Minotaurs would switch. I feel like shielded Minotaurs are almost always the way to go in these matchups.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think this build is much more balanced in terms of infantry acts as anti-infantry. You've got mass to pin things in. You've got your archers to keep the air squad like actually kept in check, and at least some sort of zoning. And your anti-large is going to be Minotaurs. Yeah,
that
there you
instead.
go. I feel like this build has a much higher chance of winning against what the other person brought, Mr. Gorst.
As long as they're shielded Minos.
Yeah, those are shielded Minos.
I swapped him out.
Your magic damage is going to be from your not brace screen, Vile Tide, and then you've still got Manticore Summon, which is important. Morgar is much more disruption than any sort of...
Oh, but he's so dull.
It's okay, man.
Yes, so but
How's Wild Tide?
It's okay. So
Where is the Brace Scream?
please don't play that matchup again. I don't want to see.
I think you can drop 1 Mino. I think all you need is 2, because you might run out of infantry support and then get ground down.
It could be dangerous if the opponent brings like scurvy dogs and get into your back line, but you do have the what's it called? The Razorgore herd, and the
How's
sort of
one
things that
chaos
protect.
spawn here?
Chaos spawn are good.
I like
You can bring them.
1. I've been bringing 1 in a lot of matchups just because Unbreakable can shield from some artillery shots too, which is
Yeah, and it
nice.
applies poison everywhere, so
It applies
that's good.
poison. It's unbreakable. It's mass. It won't rampage. It can get destroyed by like anti-infantry tools like bombers, but
So does everything.
so does everything, including pigs.
But I can just shoot the bombers.
They will be. They're moving. They will be moving forward on you. So they're gonna be
in a
doing something.
vacuum, yeah, yes.
Oh no, but you just take the bomber shots and be like, they're on gauze, they don't matter.
Well, it's still gonna hurt. Maybe
You
they're
get
still
summons in your
still
back
cost
line,
efficient.
Dogs appear out of nowhere. You start panicking. You shit yourself. You gotta wipe yourself, then change your diapers. You know
I
how it
hate
works.
that when that happens.
Oh man, it's horrific. It's
Up demonetized.
Yeah. Well,
oh fucking man, you just gotta stop these kind of.
No, it's not fuck you. It's a fuck you.
You. Well, I'm going.
alrighty. So we've got Beastman, Vampire Coast. Any more matchups anyone wants to bring in? I believe. Who was it?
How about Beastman versus Oh, this one's so freaking annoying. Actually, we're not trying to do impossible matchups here, right?
Yeah, we're just going to be doing normal matchups.
Dude, I love
Okay,
impossible matchups.
never mind. I won't say
So
that.
no Vampire Counts versus Dark Elves?
Actually, that one's
Actually, yes, please.
that one's less tricky. I mean,
I have built
I
builds
don't
there,
have that.
but
the
I hate the
That's
matchup.
painful.
Come on,
It's annoying.
Malakith, Double Master, and the Raven Heralds.
I have
What
few
did that?
disgusting builds in this
Raven
matchup,
Heralds?
but yeah.
Yes, Raven Heralds can like
Yeah, there's no-
snipe a Mortis engine, can snipe.
And they could die to some bats.
No, because you have Malekith and Double Noble to protect them.
I don't know. I would much rather have some harpies than the Ravens Heralds.
No.
All right, feel free. I need 2 people to hop in, except Taco. He's too good.
Wow.
No. He's allowed
Hey,
to.
let Taco play.
How about Geese Howard?
I'm playing
How
Ghostbusters.
about not?
Way,
Fine.
welcome.
Hey, is anyone else brave enough to join
Well, I cannot see him in lobby, so
I'll friend you if you need to.
against a Dawi player?
Yes, Raptor Legion needs to play because he is
Oh,
the
no.
truest of Raptors.
Truest of VTO members.
what is ITO?
Wait, don't
ITO.
you know what is ITO?
In
Go
timeout.
Ghostbuster.
Well, we don't know what is ITO.
In timeout. ITO.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Actually,
Wow.
I think I'm sure. But all right, somebody challenge Way. I believe we had Raptor Legion coming in. Do you need me to
No,
friend
no,
you?
no.
You know the way.
You can friend me. I will play later on, maybe.
Let me
Alright,
show you
gotcha.
the way.
I'm eating right now.
Got it.
Let me read the description for ITO. The clan started as an inside joke, and this is such very casual and requires and expects nothing
You won't
from
find an
members.
explanation there.
Still, we have plenty of good players who discuss the game and quite often completely unrelated topics.
Sounds
Well, that's it.
Oh yeah, I never gave you one for XMT. You wrote one though, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh man,
I
you
gotta
should have
read
read
it.
it.
I didn't read
Thank
it
you,
yet.
Taco.
Goose. We have Goose in here.
We literally sat down, me and Falcon, and wrote it.
Okay, good.
And then,
You
and then
mean-
we kid. Come on, I was gonna say it.
I translated it to English.
Yes.
All right,
Oh,
Goose
come
is
on,
here to
it
challenge Way.
wasn't so bad.
Goose, I wouldn't really consider Noob, but that's okay.
It
Doesn't
wasn't
matter.
so bad. Of
I
an
don't want
English.
to play.
Right.
I give it a B. I give it a B plus.
Perfect.
Give
A
me
B
a B
plus is
plus.
fine.
What matchup would you like to play?
Beastman versus Geese only plays Beastman.
No, he
Not
plays
all right,
Empire. I'll
actually.
have you know. I think.
Yeah, they're like human Beastmen.
Yeah, they're just like human beastmen. They're like furless.
Why do you keep
I've
saying
obviously brought the best build for this.
The million. Yeah, that's a pretty good build.
Look at the dwarves players playing dwarves even when it's high elves.
Honestly, Wade's Empire build is just the dwarf build.
Do
No,
I have
it's
to go
not.
Empire?
Nah, play what you want, man.
I'll play against Beastman.
Beastman.
All right, Beastman round 2. High Elves this time.
I know I'm gonna be Empire.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Empire
no.
versus Beastman. This is probably a much more even matchup than the obviously Vampire Coast versus Beastman. Let's pick a nice map.
I mean, weren't the Beastmen meant to be like a complement to Empire when they were first made?
You what?
I don't know.
Like an opponent for like the
He's
enemy,
doing
the arch
ASMR.
empire.
Like pretty much how it was supposed to be.
Oh,
Beastmen
like
have
the like
units.
Volkmar
No, it was
versus-
Wood Elves.
It was Wood Elves, right? Was it?
No, I'm pretty sure.
I don't
because
think
Boris
Beastmen and Wood
Power
They
Elves
Axe-
were-
came in the same package as Wood Elves, if I remember
Oh.
correctly.
I don't know. I don't think so.
What? RPs and Morgur were in the same package. As
Call of the
Ruler.
Wild, and they had a campaign pack.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but Boris Bringer was in there too.
No, it was the Red Duke.
What?
It was the. So in Call of the Wild, we had Boris. And then there was the Woodals, like 1 month after, with Morgur, RPs, and the Red Duke.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's what happened. I was there.
I just remember the trailer for the Wood Elves. They were shooting up Beastmen.
Yeah, because Beastmen were introduced like 1 month before of that.
Okay.
Oh wait,
What
even
faction
like 2
cannot
or
do
3
a
months
blob?
before. But yeah, that's it.
Is there what would a Beastman box look like?
A Beastman box? Probably.
If you hated yourself enough to try to build one, yeah.
No, I've
There's
seen
one or
people do
two
it against
Cygors.
Bretonnia.
I've seen people do it versus counts. It's just like 2 giants, 2 Gorbals, or with
You
Malagor.
get the butchers, the manslaughters. What are they called? The ROR Bestigor.
Yeah, man rippers.
You just sit there.
Or not even them. You could even just have chaff and then even more minos and chaos fun. It really doesn't. It's very situational.
Is there any faction that can't do boxes? Like I don't know if I know Wood Elves have their treatment box, but is there any faction that just doesn't have a box kind of set up if they wanted to?
Well, I mean, box is kind of weird. There you
Box
can
is just
do
a
a
shape.
vampire counts blob. You can a box is hard to do as vampire
Bretonnia
counts.
would have a hard time making a box.
It's just a bunch of peasants lying on top of each other.
It's
They'll
that's just
try
a hero
Grail
blob.
box. They'll just make a Grail box.
Yeah, there is. There's a Grail. It's Grail Guardians and a hero blob. That's
Yep.
Hmm.
I used to joke
Doesn't
about
sound
it
fun to
like
play
a
against.
year and a half
I was
ago, and now it's
testing
like
this yesterday.
legitimately a bill.
But if you bring a Luminarch, an Archlector, a Warrior Priest, and a Jade Wizard, you can get 70% ward save on a box.
but only for a limited time.
Yes. Well, then you have the 14%, which is constant from the Luminarch.
I hate Luminarchs.
But it's a Luminarch.
Can't
Yeah,
stand
but
those
it's a
things.
Luminarch.
And then you get the net if you bring the ROR.
All right, looking at the Empire build, it's definitely interesting. We'll see how it happens.
Can you win really fast? Because I need to piss.
Okay.
Alright.
You know, I tried this build against Salsicha and I won in 4 minutes. So maybe that'll happen.
That's good. Salsicha's a decent player for sure.
Look at those beautiful Dovsteliers.
Dovsteliers.
They're not
What?
Pesteliers. They're Dovsteliers. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
What's your bit rate that you're streaming at?
That's a good question. It's around 3. Let me check that real quick.
3,000?
Yeah.
30.
That may be a little bit low.
It might be a little low for if your connection is good.
Is it pretty blurry on the stream output?
Yeah, it's a little bit like you can. It's not like choppy per se, but it's in that realm. It's you have the battle smooth cinematic smoothing on, but it's not actually smooth. It looks like more
Alright,
like
I have 4,000 bitrate right now.
Oh no, wait! You cannot change the bitrate while you're streaming.
Yeah, you can't do it while you're streaming. You'd have to restart your stream.
I'd probably. Okay, alright. So I'll keep that in mind for next
The
time.
stream is gonna probably end. Oh, thank God, they did it.
Did it end?
How
What
good
ended?
is your internet? The upload download.
My
speeds?
upload download speed, I'd have to retest it, but right now I don't think anyone's using it. My upload is like, I don't know. I have to think about it. I haven't tested in a little bit, but it's. I've streamed before and it seemed to be okay. But
I'm
alright,
ready.
Good luck, have fun, guys.
I mean, you could set it. I think it might maybe lower might be the key. Let's see. Can't tell if it's better or not. Let's just see how it goes. You need to get like an intern to set up all the streaming shit for you. You can just write them a letter of recommendation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
So the Lord for Empire is actually Boris, just to make sure everyone understands that. It's not Carl. And we've got Godric on the ground. What's the Lore of Magic? Lore of Magic is... Bright Wizard. Alright.
Boris and Bright.
What's the leadership debuff from Burned? Is it -8?
Say minus, yeah. I believe it's 8.
Guys, are you still here?
Yeah, we're still here. We're just looking at the match.
No. All right. No one was talking. I was what?
Hypnotized by Geese's sexy army.
Goose's Beastman play being Goose. Cut out. Not these ones. 1 out of 2 Davs leaders have been taken out. All right.
Is that Kazrak or a Beast Lord?
That is a Beast Lord because it's Goose. Goose has always been the head. Oh, we're having a little bit of lag here, but Goose has always been the guy that brings Beast Lord. I think he's the OG guy that always brought that. I hope my audio's not cutting out. Can you guys hear me just fine?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright. Then I don't think the internet's on my side then. I think the only thing keeping Empire still in this game are the single entities. And at this point, most of the Empire Cav has been done, except for this one Empire Knight still having pretty good HP. The other one, Reichsguard. Ooh, Reichsguard being brought. Forgot to see that. But all the infantry for the Empire are practically in tatters. And unfortunately, yeah, these Pistoliers are probably going to be chased into the sunset.
Yeah, it's gonna be time to look at Gotrek in the middle of a blob for like
Yeah, about
10
5.
minutes.
Yeah, we're about to see the Gotrek. Although Boris is still
gonna
very.
get cycle charged by 3 chariots.
Boris is still healthy though, so you know. And he hasn't healed. I don't. He's nowhere near his healing.
Yeah, no,
capacity yet.
I actually think the Empire's gonna win. I mean, it depends on the night play, I guess.
So Blackthorn in the chat's asking why Beastmen really aren't played that much, and that's because, well, their viable strategies are just, it's not very diverse, unfortunately.
And no one owns the DLC.
That one too.
They have a lot of bad matchups too right now, with not a lot of redeeming qualities like many other factions, and it makes them somewhat predictable, the matchups that they are good in, like they were saying just a second ago. So they're in need of a DLC, more or less.
Pretty
Missing
much.
some things.
Warhammer 1 DLC with no support. It's like for that one ROR patch.
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing. It's like the same thing with the Wood Elves
Chaos,
right now, you know.
But yeah.
Very one-dimensional in some ways.
Also, like when you pick them in tournaments, you only have 2 bands, and that's just not enough. It really isn't. Oh man,
But they are good in some matchups, though.
Yeah, they're a
kind
great
of
counter
counterpick.
faction.
Yeah, they're probably like almost, I would say, one of the worst for Dawi to deal with too, which maybe they don't seem like at first, but they have just so many different phases they can show.
Yeah. I guess to counterpick Dawi, you need someone to pick Dawi as the first pick, I guess.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah. That too. But like, yeah, they're pretty good against elves, I would say.
Okay, and I was wrong about this game. The Empire's gonna lose.
Yeah.
Oh, who's each voice? Blackthorn is asking.
I'm Taco.
Obama.
Whoa.
We have a lot of mix of good players, so
Yeah,
veteran
I'm
players,
wicked.
and like less, I would say more newbie players here. So like, if generally, just listen to the people giving advice. They're all very, very experienced.
Look at that juicy route.
That was a beautiful burning. It's just gonna that burning a touch effect is gonna be pretty nice. But we're going to see Gotrek die to 1 infantry
Oh,
unit.
Kazarek. No. Uh-oh. Wait, that's bad. Maybe I was right.
Send in the chariots?
Maybe the Empire is gonna win.
That 1 burning head just routed everything.
Yeah, leadership.
That's how you win this matchup. You get the character blob and you use Burning Head. I hope Gotrik's gonna get his heal. If he doesn't, it's
He already
probably
got
army
his
losses.
heal.
Yeah, he
got his
He
heal.
got it already.
His healing
Ah.
cap's already at half. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah.
Wait, is Boris might win.
Nah, he's not
he just got
gonna win.
recharged by
They
Centigores.
can, they can get the army
Oh,
loss
yeah, I didn't
easy.
see the Centigores.
I shouldn't have bothered with cascading fire cloak. Like, another burning head on the blob before could have done it too.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that bright wizard go! Jump into that blob. Alright, so this is the part where you need the second burning head, but I don't think that's happening.
It's not there.
Summon another Boris.
A Boris Core?
That's a good game. Alrighty, so a few things from the Empire player that I want to start out with. And that you are severely lacking. You have a lot of things that's going good. But you have to think about Gotrek here and why you bring him. Why do you bring Gotrek? It's to protect. It's for 2 reasons. It's for endgame blob, and it's to protect something that's very important, right? So Gotrek, the very standard combo is Gotrek plus Volkmar, because Gotrek protects Volkmar against Minotaurs, Bestigor, I mean not Bestigor, Centigor, any like Gorbals, anything like that, and Volkmar is your anti-infantry, and that's what I'm going to pretty much go ahead in this build and tell you about. You're very much lacking in your anti-infantry. The only real anti-infantry you have is Burning Heads, which is very effective, but realistically only going to take out maybe 1 or 2 infantry, and cycle charging from your cavalry. Now, if you only have cycle charging from your cavalry, it's going to be really the Beastman player will find ways, and they will bring. Empire is very limited in their anti-infantry, right? So because mainly their infantry just suck unless you bring great swords, but great swords are going to be eaten alive. So you probably shouldn't be bringing them. So you need ways to. You have to think of ways to defend your Knights of the Blazing Sun from their ways of killing them while still dealing with their infantry tools, right?
Right.
So, yeah, my biggest critique, definitely bring Volkmar over Boris, because he's great. He is a mobile terror, and he's fantastic in that way, but he actually did really well in this match.
I think it's, if you want to bring Gotrek, bring Volkmar, and if you're bringing Boris, don't bring Gotrek.
Yeah, that's the combo. So
also, I don't know if you need all the chevrons. I don't like chevrons.
That was a very Dov. You put chevrons on your spears, but they're probably one of the most cost-effective chevrons.
Yeah, still.
I don't need them on all the
like,
spears.
You could get like two more units for those chevrons.
Yeah, it's just I really like that 52 melee defense.
Well, you don't really need all that melee defense on your spearmen.
Say you bring Volkmar along with Gotrek, you're going to win the infantry fight regardless. You're going to lose on the flanks where Volkmar isn't, but how Volkmar works is he rotates from one infantry fight to another.
And your high stats aren't really that important versus Beastmen anyway. They're super high charge and super high like mobility, where the stats don't matter as much as like your HP pools.
Yeah. One thing that really caught me off guard was Spirit Leech. I think that's what really got my cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, that's good to mention. Bright Wizard. Every time you bring Bright Wizard, it is of mine that you almost always bring Knights of the Blazing Sun as a combo, because they have the magic resist, and they're just really good stats, especially when Kindle Fame is active. So I think with that, Goose is going to head out. All right, but so let's look at your army, and when you're building an army, you need to be answering the question, how do I deal with, and you blank. So how do I deal with Minotaurs in this? And unfortunately, the only real way is to be cycle charging them and shooting at them, but they have shields, right?
Yeah.
So you always have to answer those questions. How do I deal with? How do I deal with? And that's probably one of the biggest things. Hey, Elementar. And unfortunately, your whole army previously has how do I deal with infantry, and unfortunately you didn't have that. You had plenty of ways to deal with Centigors and backline pressure with cavalry, and you just didn't have enough to actually really stop like the onslaught the Beastmen would be bringing. But it was a really great game, actually. It was closer than I thought, especially with Boris. I thought Boris would do a lot worse. Oh, hey, Zach. Are chevrons useful for artillery for accuracy? No, not really. I'll be completely honest.
I think rank 4 mortars can be worth it against like Bretonnia.
Rank
just
4?
One off.
Or just no ranks and get a second one.
Generally, chevroning ranged units, it's probably better on artillery over actual.
I think chevrons are better on mortars than they are on cannons, but I still think if you're getting a gold chevron mortar, you're only like 100 or 200 gold away from getting a second mortar.
Well, I wouldn't give it rank 9.
I always do chevrons at the end. I don't know. Because if you don't give it like silver or gold chevrons, then you're getting really diminishing returns.
That's true.
Let's go with a different map. Nice. Let's go Schwarzhaven because I like that map. All right, thanks for that. Hey, Zach.
I'll go thanks for you guys.
Hey.
Zach.
Hello, Zach.
The founder of the Noob Hammer training, here himself.
The one and only. How go things,
Hammer
gentlemen?
elf noob.
It's going
We're
well.
doing well. We're just going over, making sure we're going over like builds and looking through. We have a lot of experienced players here with us today, so because I think it's a rather quiet day in terms of like the Warhammer community.
Yes, I'm seeing a few people in the chat. I'm seeing a few people in the Noob Hammer training.
Hey, Nick Bet, would you like to jump in?
Me? I'm not in the same town as my computer. I can play.
Okay, no problem.
That one again.
Yeah, it happens.
So
could I get a game
before we go into this, I want to get more into Skaven, but can I just have a rundown of like the generic lords, because I rarely see them like played.
Generic
Some of
lords
them
for
don't look.
Skaven. I would say
They don't look too bad.
There's really
I
only
ju-
one that you take, and that's the Gracier of Plague on a Bell.
Plague. Yeah.
Master Assassin is actually pretty good in
Yeah, I
strategy.
like the Master Assassin too. I 100% agree with Legion. I think there's some matchups he's really good in.
Just to briefly interrupt, someone was asking if they would like a go.
Yeah, I think I heard
at
Shadow
some point.
Nagrith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just double check.
Let me check if you're friends on your Steam, and feel free to hop in. It's a lobby Noob Hammer 123.
Okay.
Let's not do Skaven mirror match again. I didn't like last time.
Do it. Both bring trash.
It's a fun mirror match.
Yeah, we've had Tretch and mass death globes against mass poison wind mortars or something. It was a Deadly Bunnies
feel like
match.
One
I mean,
side
mirror
sounds
match
more
is
competitive.
reliable.
What you can do in the Mirror Skaven is just go full Ashen. It counters basically everything that's not wheels.
What if you go full? Yeah, that's the build I think of when I go Skaven mirror match is like 2 wheels, 3 Doom Flayers, and a Rat Ogres and Chaff.
The Plague Claw catapults are actually pretty good as well, because they apply both the artillery leadership penalty as well as -10 contaminant leadership penalty. So like if you shoot any Skaven unit with it, it's almost breaking.
And yes, Bonebreaker sucks.
That's so unfortunate. It looks so cool, but it's not that good.
It's very sad.
It's a sad day for Skaven, especially for Bonebreaker.
Just give it some more melee attack, and I think it would be fixed. Almost.
Just make it a Dreadsaurian.
Ilmatar, is there any specific thing you want to face? Because I'm not playing. Only time I ever played against Skaven is with Norsk or High Elves. So if you want me to play...
I mean, I know why Norska's picked, and I'd like you to not pick that.
That is fair.
Other than that, what's a neutral matchup? I think Tomb Kings is fairly even.
I unfortunately do not have the money to own the Tomb Kings DLC.
That's also not that even, but yeah.
Empire versus Lizardmen is pretty even, I think.
Empire versus Vampire counts is okay-ish.
But I want to play the Under Empire.
How is
How's
Empire?
Skaven Empire is okay.
Empire's a little disfavored.
It's okay if both players are like, super meta.
That's a nice way of saying handicapped.
Not mentally, skillfully.
How about Bretonnia?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so Bretonnia versus... What is this matchup?
Skaven.
Bretonnia versus
I have
Skaven.
played Bretonnia a solid 2 times. Let's see how this goes.
This matchup is... I have seen Skaven win this a lot of times, and I've seen Bretonnia lose this a lot of times.
Yeah,
Okay. If
feel it's
Bretonnia is disfavored, I'll go for the Equalizer.
I think it's pretty neutral.
The Equalizer.
I like this matchup from the Skaven side quite a lot.
I think
It seems like a very Skaven.
I think
good
on
matchup.
paper, a lot of people will say that this matchup's like even, but it's easier for the Skaven player in terms of like what they have to do in this matchup.
Yeah,
Just
well,
stop the
the
Cavs, pretty much.
poison wind mortars are insane value here.
This is gonna be fun.
If you're not, I mean, if Bretonnia is really not your faction, you don't have to play them. But this is obviously.
I mean, I'm just trying. I'll learn any faction. Might as well see how this one goes.
That's a good mindset.
What
Just
faction do you like?
Yeah, I expect to get close to feet in this. That's usually how my first game in new faction goes, but it's okay.
Dude,
I mean,
I've lost so many games.
I can see why this is not great for Bretonnia, but I can also see that like Skaven have to bring some like specific things to counter the hero blob.
What's the bottom?
He reminded me. Hero blob.
Just a small thing on my end. I may be resuming partaking in these things next Saturday.
Sounds good, Zach.
I'm looking forward to it.
I won't be able to do Wednesdays for a couple of months now because I work on the evenings on weekdays, but I should be able to carry on with the weekend things.
Yeah, having 2 training sessions in a week is definitely a lot to go by. Hefty on one person organizing all of it. In that case, you.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I suppose you could say it's a blessing in disguise in some ways, but I'll be heading off now. I will definitely see you guys probably around in a bit, and hopefully see some of you guys on Saturday.
Have a good night, man.
See you later.
Have a good night. See you, folks. See you in a bit. Catch you in the Discord. Bye.
Bye.
Quick, what's on Saturday? Next week, like when he resumes. Okay, no, I get it.
Remember, Shadow? When you're building an army, you need to be answering the question, how do I deal with on the Skaven roster? Are you familiar with the Skaven roster?
Am I muted? No. Yeah.
I can hear you.
My main concern right now is rattling guns and warplock Giselle is killing units before I even get to the front and mortars. And I'm trying to think of how to do that, because if I bring mounted yeomen, let's say they have rattling guns on either side, those yeomen will be suppressed really quickly and they will rout. If I bring, and then I have to worry about poison and mortars also. And then all these Skaven weapon teams will be protected with rat ogres most likely, or Stormvermin with halberds if he feels like it. So, and then warp grinders too. That's a thing. And so because Bretonnia is a very cavalry mobile based faction, and then they have really cheap, really low leadership infantry. So Skaven have a lot of answers to all that stuff.
Yep, and you're going to have to think about how you can deal with essentially all of them.
And I don't own the Go Check and Felix DLC, which is sucks. Because I was going to think about bringing Felix.
All right.
Yeah, this is true. I just never got around to downloading it.
Yeah, that's no problem. I mean, a lot of people don't bring Go Check in this matchup anyway. There's a lot of different ways you can handle this. But you should be thinking, since you're actually new to this faction, we can actually help you build your own army, right? We can help you do that. So thinking about Skaven and what they can bring and how you can deal with it, how the biggest problem for your cavalry is going to be, well, first of all, let's get this out of the way. You will be the one that's going to be aggressive in this. The Skaven almost never are going to be the one aggressing on you because they have the superior firepower. Now, in these sort of matchups, it is just taken that you will lose some things on the approach. It's just how it is. You're going to have to accept that. Now, in that way, you're going to think you want to go wide. There's going to be a lot of different ideas that go through your mind, but it's more so like what survives. What do I do with what survives and what makes it through the back line, and how do I deal with what defends their back line? So I think in terms of let's start with infantry and what your infantry matchups versus their infantry and what they deal with. Now, in both factions, your infantry just suck, so it's all about your cavalry in your matchup case, and it's all about the weapons teams and rat ogres in the the Skaven matchup. Now, there's a little asterisk by that because they can bring Stormvermin with halberds, which admittedly I think they're a terrible unit, and they can bring this much better unit, which is the Ixchos Triads, right? The Triads and along the Eshin Triads. There's a normal unit name. So, looking mounted human archers. So, what do you think their goal would be in this army?
My idea mainly was because mortars will be targeting archers most likely if he brings a helper or something like that. So the mountain yeoman will be able to avoid mortars pretty much, and they're 50 gold more.
All right. I would actually say, from my experience in the High Elf Skaven matchup, poisoned wind mortars are still really effective against skirmish cavalry.
Yes, I was going to say the exact same thing.
It's hard to avoid them because only one of the projectiles needs to hit and damage over time applies. So it's hard to avoid them really.
I would say that, and I think a lot of people don't think of this when they choose Bretonnia, is that trebuchets are a lot better against more than just infantry targets. Like, they could snipe the mortars on the approach.
Yeah, trebuchets have this interesting interaction in this game where they don't kill. When you think of cannons, they destroy the cannon pieces, right? Of like other artillery. Trebuchets straight up kill the crew. They don't go for the pieces. They will kill the crew of whatever's manning the artillery, and they have this sort of critical mass where if you have a certain amount of trebuchets, you can kill the crew of the enemy artillery faster than they can kill the pieces of the trebuchet. So it's a very interesting. Not too many people bring them, but it's a very valid strategy. So looking at here, we have archers, and I believe the role for the archers are going to be dealing with the hell pit, which is something you most definitely need. So that's a correct choice in that. Now, mounted human, I will tell you this right out. Mounted human is probably one of the worst light cav in the game. Actually, I'm trying to think of one that's worse, and it's like maybe Goblin Wolf Riders, but like...
No, because they're 350.
Yeah, they're 350.
Skeleton Horsemen.
And,
yeah, but those are undead.
No, skeleton.
Those are unbreakable.
And Vanguard.
Yeah, they're undead, so they're automatically better.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
You
of
can make a
one
case for Dark Riders.
Ooh, but Dark Riders are actually really good, I think.
Dark Riders are pretty
If they get the charge, if they lose their 40 charge bonus, they're really sad.
Yeah, but what's the charge bonus of Mounted Human? 30? Oh, man.
Mounted Human are bad.
Holy shit, that's more than the Black Knights have.
And so, yeah, Mountain Human, probably one of the worst cavalry units in the game, and I really struggle to think of one that's worse. Yeah.
See, how I always approached this matchup as Norska was bringing multiple terror pieces and just not having to worry about actually losing units to the Skaven front line. But Bretonnia, that's why I was going to bring the Green Knight and Lewin, but that's a lot of money to invest, especially because if they have work blocks, the Green Knight will die very fast.
Well,
you bring like 4 skin walls because you can't bring 5.
So the Green Knight actually
don't do magic damage.
Yeah, the
but
Green Knight
the
fills
Liber
a
one
pretty good
Shorticus does.
Liber one.
Oh, I thought the war blocks do magic damage. I guess I'm wrong.
Warplock Giselles actually do not do magic damage. It's just armor piercing.
Okay, that's fine.
But like generally, the thought behind the Green Knight, I think, like if you play Bretonnia, clicking Fey Enchantress plus double Paladin or like healing caster plus Paladins, that's something you need to be able to do. Eyes closed instantly. I think like the hero core is not something you want to be cheap on.
All right, so let's look back at the army. So you have, yeah.
One of the things I would recommend is be very careful with that Luan pick, because the warp gate still exists and it quite hurts.
Yeah, Howling Warp Gale.
Okay.
Hey, Rubber Duck. So let's look over the army and what roles each unit you're bringing. So Knights Errant, I would say most people would consider a Knights Errant like an anti-infantry tool, and mainly a tool to try to like crush through the front line. And in their good mass, they will die to rat ogres terribly in sustained combat though. So you're going to have to be. You have an anti-infantry role with the Knights Errant. You have anti-artillery with field trebuchets, which is something people don't usually consider, and anti-infantry to some degree. So that's a lot of anti-infantry, and Knights of the Realm is a very flex. You would think they're actually anti-large, but they're really just anti-infantry with a good, if they get a good charge on large units, they work as well, but they don't deal well with single entity monsters. Now, how do you deal with single entity monsters in this build? You brought 4 peasant bowmen, so that'll deal with the hell pit, which is a very good inclusion. And so you have wheels to do with single entity monsters. You have good anti-infantry. If they bring storm vermin or triads, you will cycle charge them. How do you deal? How are you going to get into the weapons teams?
That is so. Usually the weapons teams are a second, or even if they're warp blocks, they're a third layer. They're really far in the back, maybe just a bit ahead of the artillery. So the idea of the yeoman, were the yeoman vanguard deployment? No, they are not. Well, yeah, the idea of the yeoman is that they weren't actually meant to survive at all. They were just meant to be on the edges of the spawn and force the Skaven to kind of go into more of a box to protect their flanks. And that'll give me more time to get to the front, and then I would use wind blast and other stuff to move out the infantry immediately, and then I would just push it with cav.
So wind blasts. So your strategy is to break the front line with it, wind blasts, and all sorts of the front line charging.
And hopefully the trebuchets do enough damage if there's not artillery to the infantry.
Wait, what lore does that caster have? Is it high? Did you say?
Heavens.
Also, there was interesting remark before. You have to count on what will survive the approach, and the 4 archers will most definitely not survive poisoned wind mortars. So once those are dead and routing, you might be left short on anti-large, especially if they are like 2 abominations. Because like 1 soul from the poison wind mortars almost routes off and kill completely the 1 unit of peasant bowmen.
Oh, are we on Bretonnia versus Skaven?
Yes.
Oh, I love this matchup.
Yeah, me too.
One thing I think you should consider is if you're not bringing healing, it would be better to go with 2 battle pilgrims instead of the paladin.
I think
you don't need any infantry, just 5 peasant mob and like 3 men at arms.
Because the paladin, the thing about the battle pilgrims is that they're dangerous enough for the Skaven player to choose to focus the mortars on them.
Yes, but it's not good if the mortars shoot them still, because that's you still are spending like
you're
1 or 2
paying for that
battle
for having less
pilgrims is
cav.
like
Yeah.
it's like 1,200 gold. Like you can have Bretonnia only needs to spend like 600 or 700 gold on their front line in general in this matchup. Just like 5 like peasant mobs and like 3 men-at-arms with spears, and then like all cavalry. And that's all you need. And then maybe like 2 or 3 fire archers to help deal with help hits.
What I'm really worried about is because I played Way when he brought Clan Rictus, and he just brought a full Vanguard army, and what I'm bringing now will not do well against that at all.
Well, I also don't think you need trebuchets, and I don't think Windblast Lord is like Manticore Summon is obviously the best, but it's a little boring. If you're bringing Lewin, I don't think you need a paladin.
I think
so. Just more knights, more Knights of the Realm. Knights of the Realm are like the best unit here.
Cavalry is very. I don't think it's bad to bring trebuchets though. I think they have.
No, on some maps it's all right. Generally it's just some if you don't have like if they go with warp lightning cannons, which is very good. The trebuchets, if it's a flat map, they'll get shot and might not be enough. But if there is like any hill, the trebuchets can be very good. But I just like 4 Knights of the Realm and some Knights Errant Lewin, because Knights of the Realm Knights of the Realm are just like the best unit on the roster versus Skaven here. And Knights Errant are good too. But
because the numbers.
Okay, I think this is what I'm going to try to run with.
I would drop 1 Men-at-Arm for 2 Peasant Mob.
And then try to fit in another Knights of the Realm.
I'm getting scared here.
It's okay.
Oh wait, this is different than what I have, what's on the stream. That's why.
Oh.
You should take this and this and this. And I'm just thinking he has twice my funds.
That's what it feels like to go against Bretonnia.
Yeah, just like, why does he have 1,500 units? I'm so confused.
Yeah, the Skaven army is ultimately like meta, and there's nothing that you could change about it to make it more competitive. So we're good now.
Yeah, and I really do think that you don't need any elite infantry. Just peasants, men at arms, cav. Bretonnia is just cav faction.
I mean, it's also kind of a hero faction.
Yeah, and a hero faction. That's fair.
All right, this is. I don't think. Maybe I'll just see how this goes, and then. Yeah, I'll just see how this goes.
Yeah. All right. So, the reason why people just battle pilgrims are just, you lose so much money if they effectively get killed. But let's see how it goes. I think you have this army definitely has the tools to deal with most Skaven things they can bring. It's more about can you. I think this is more about timing actually when you attack the Skaven.
All right, let's see how this goes.
By the way, Ducky, you forgot to say that trebuchets can kill large targets given enough time.
Yeah.
You just
Every
have,
time I
just
play
need
against
hope.
Bretonnia, they literally have like 8 lines of infantry, and it's very annoying to look at. So this is gonna be fun.
I feel like every time I've played Bretonnia, they have 5 peasants, and everything else is cav and archers. That's it.
Yes.
There's
I
like
feel like every time I've played Bretonnia, it's Enchantress, 2 paladins, and every unit gets to its healing cap.
Oh, it looks like it's gonna hurt.
That sounds very Bretonnia.
I think like some poison arrows and fire arrows, like 2 fire, 1 poison versus is probably the best.
Oh, I thought those were poison. Wait, did you have only fire or only poison arrows?
I have 3 fire and 1 normal actually. Wait,
Yeah,
no.
in general, you do want to mix a poison in there or 2, mainly because they're just so cost effective of applying it everywhere. And applying poison debuffs is probably one of the best debuffs in the game with speed, weapon damage, all that stuff. But fire is still very good because it'll do well with the hell pit, for instance, really.
And also maybe if they don't bring a hell pit, it'll still give this.
And it does well
against
against
the burn
Radover's,
debuff, right?
It
still
does
it
not
still
apply
does.
the burn debuff, as far as I know.
Rip. That happens. Okay.
All right, so we spent a lot of time on the Bretonian guy, but let's see what Skaven
Oh no.
Okay.
It's an army.
We've got it's definitely an army. So we've got 2 of those. We've got a hell pit. The front line is what is expected in a Skaven army. Although we do have these 2 units.
It's unfortunate that Deadly Bunnies isn't here right now. He can coach with that Lord choice.
He's here in spirit.
He is the Tretch main.
We have the best lord, legendary lord in all the game. So powerful, he once died to 2 skink priests.
I'm not admit it, but Falcon said in the chat that he lost against a 60 health mammoth with a full health stretch.
Stretch is just honestly.
He's a rat.
He's
He
a
reads.
Stretch, you know. It'll be fun.
He's a rat.
He definitely does what a Skaven does.
Indeed.
I mean, taking Tretch is a power move. Like you can't lose when you do.
Yeah, I mean, if you pick Tretch, you already have won.
You've won because you've lost too many brain cells to realize.
You've won because you make your opponent feel like he lost.
Yeah, he's like, my life is at this point now.
Yeah, he might have won, but he also feels like he lost.
Oh, are those the cool triads?
Yes.
Wow, they're cool.
Not only does he get a full army teaching me how, he also gets to know what half of the things are I bring.
Is that a Dread Saurian? How did you get that?
Whoa.
I also love how we spent like 20 minutes like coaching Bretonnia, making this ultra meta build, and he just said there was Tretch for the entire time.
I mean, we can't do it any other way.
Tretch is OP, okay? If you have rat summons, that's practically scroll. I mean,
Yes.
Just mind if you just believe enough, Tretch is like a Liber one-shoticus. If you let him sit
one hit from Tretch is like Liber instantly.
Yeah, if you just sit Lewin still and let Tretch hit him a few times, it's like a Liber one-shoticus. Just
like
Yeah, I mean, consider the mental damage his target takes of being hit by Tretch. Like that.
I
That
mean,
hurts.
Lewin has 45 melee defense and Tretch has 40 melee attack. So
I will say I do like the formation of the. I really like how you're very widespread and have everything with the Bretonnians, so that at least you can try to, if they bring mortars, you can at least reduce that damage by quite a margin. Now, I'll be completely honest. There is something very missing from this Skaven army, and it starts with M and ends with orders, but. You're really fully committing on the anti-large here. I think the only real anti-infantry tool you have in the Skaven army is going to be your Plague Priest with the Mortis Engine effect, and even then, that could spell like that's just one thing.
What are you talking about? He has Tretch.
Yeah, and Tretch. Tretch will kill one
Tretch is
peasant.
obviously anti-large. Tretch is not anti-infantry. He has that
I'm
fat
pretty
bone.
I was considering it, but the problem is, like, gauging what a Bretonnian brings is so difficult. Like, his entire infantry tab can be worth, like, what, 2,000 gold?
Try and Riches have the option to not bring a Lord, because
They're
that's better than bringing Tretch.
500.
The thing about is you always still have to prepare. This is why you want to bring what's it called, balanced builds. If you see a lot of Skaven players, like, it's actually completely fine that you brought Tretch here, but you have so much anti-large here, and what's very common in this matchup is peasant archers, because mounted yeomen just kinda suck a lot. So you should be expecting the Bretonnians to be bringing archers so they can deal with your hell pits, right? So let's say the Bretonnian does bring it, and I believe a very common combo is double, what's it called, Warp Lightning Cannon, 1 mortar in this matchup, but there's like a weird mix of that. But so your build has a very tough time dealing with the archers. You really don't have any way to get back there. You don't have a doom wheel, flares, mortars, any anti-infantry, even like elite infantry to break theirs and try to get them. So I'm interested to see how this will start out. It's obviously, this is Nagarath's is one of his first few times he's played Bretonnia, but looking at builds,
he has an advantage.
Yeah, he has quite the advantage. Good luck, have fun, guys.
All right, good luck and have fun.
May the best Skaven win.
It's not.
They don't exist actually, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so we've got the Bretonnians fighting no one. I see.
Yeah, the Bretonnians are actually just fighting themselves with like trench coats on. This is the mirror match.
That's just depressing.
I mean, you have to fight something, right?
Yeah, that's surprisingly true, I feel.
We have some pretty good target prioritization, changing all your guns to be shooting at at least your warp lightning cannons at the cav. Now, see, this is where I'm staying right here. Your Jezzails are just not nearly as effective against infantry, especially firing at peasant mob. So they would be firing at the cavalry. Now, what's dealing with the infantry? Oh no, they're going to move forward, and eventually you're going to have to deal with them.
But we get to see who wins between peasants and slaves. Eh?
That's
the problem being he has 2.
Match.
Where's the 2 units? He has where? No, men at arms.
Oh yeah, the battle pilgrims.
Where's the battle peasants?
They're behind the peasants.
Now we do have cav on this left side. And a manticore.
Like, are you blind or what's going on?
What? What do you mean blind?
You didn't see the battle pilgrims, or are there any? Or am I blind? I don't know.
Yeah, there's some battle pilgrims mixed in. So he's firing a lot of his Jezzails into this one unit of battle pilgrims, and Jezzails aren't. They can deal with infantry, but they just take so much time to do so. Now here comes the Manticore, coming in on 1 Jezzail unit. Come on, help it! I believe in you. Gonna need a wider look on everything.
Oh my god. The laggy UI is actually deselecting my units. God damn it.
I think the only damage on the warp lightning cannons has been by the trebuchets by this game, by the way.
That might be very true.
Are they still at 3 models?
The trebuchets are at 2
They're at
models, and trebuchets, not trebuchets, but the warp lightning cannon. So confirmed trebuchets OP.
What happened to Lewin? I like walked away for a second.
He's been getting shot consistently.
Oh my god, the UI is lagging out on me. This is actually hilarious. So it's running so slow, it keeps deselecting my my unit before I get the spell off.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
This might be some unfortunate NA ping.
Just
It
exploiting
is,
that cancel spell bug.
Yeah.
Alright, as things, it was kind of confirmed earlier, there was a lot of anti-large in this army. And the anti-large, the cavalry, have been dealt with, I would say, rather well. Although we've had a few breakthroughs, as it is Skaven, and that tends to happen. Or at least this right flank, the cav have been dealt with.
Yeah, the cav have just been need to cycle more.
They've been just fighting triads this entire time, which is, you know, and rat
And Ratwalkers, and that's not
that
fun.
combination is pretty dangerous towards them.
I mean, I guess it's fun for the Skaven, but not for the Bretonnians.
Hey, it's Raptor.
Hey, wicked!
Hey.
There need to be more halberds here.
Oh, the trebuchets are hitting the hell pit.
Like, trebuchets, if you get lucky hits, can really take down some large targets and do a lot of damage. They just need to, you know, hit.
Now the hell pit, I don't think it's getting the... It's not getting its too horrible to die proc so far.
Nope. And it's dueling Lewin, which it does
oh,
not
it got
want
it.
to do.
Never mind. As I say that.
Yeah. Sorry.
What's going on with you, Taco?
Hey, this is just normal for me, you know that.
True.
You and my coworker hiccup a lot.
Yeah.
I find myself hiccuping more because of you and her.
Wait, are you sure that Taco isn't your coworker, mate?
Are you sure he's not the hiccup?
There's actually a pretty good chance his name's Ryan, so I don't know.
Dude, I guess there is a good chance of that,
No,
isn't
his
there?
name is just flying.
Yep.
Man, poor Tretch. He did not
No,
deserve
Tretch
this.
he's trying, okay? He's trying.
Hey, he's gonna probably survive.
He actually didn't deal a single point of damage to Lewin.
If army loss is cut before he dies, he'll survive, right? So.
Yeah, I mean it is.
No, he's just getting help.
You know, I think that's just bad RNG from Tretch there.
Yeah,
This
he
is
could've
just
seen
classic
the energy
Tretch,
done.
honestly. It's like on paper, he's a really alright lord. It's just this game isn't just paper, but he's made of paper.
60 melee defense. That's more than paper. That's got to be at least cardboard.
70.
70 melee defense.
Yeah.
That's cardboard, man.
He's a trap.
Oh,
70 melee defense for 750 gold. Oh, what could go wrong?
Isn't he meta in some other? Who uses
I think that he was at one point. I'd be surprised if he still is.
Oh, okay. I remember at one point I heard that he was meta in another community. Maybe it was. Like
It was the
or something.
Chinese community.
Yeah, they also bring a steam tank for everything. It's meta in every matchup.
Hey, so if I could bring a KV-1 into combat, I would always bring a KV-1. I don't know what you're talking about.
What about KV2?
See, KV-2 is that's advanced.
It's too advanced. It's advanced.
KV2 is like a steam tank with the Queen Bess cannon.
Yeah, see. All right, so I think that this match is pretty much over. I don't think Skaven have any way of coming back from this.
No.
Trebuchets did well. Hey, Taco, Trebuchets did well, man.
Of course. Well, did they get a rank?
No. But they killed a
Alright.
warp lightning cannon, and they hit a hell pit.
Not worth it.
Tretch is still alive, guys.
There's still hope.
He just
What
needs
is
to run
hope?
to the forest. Dude, forest camp with Tretch.
Thank you. I'll get help.
There's one unit of rat ogres. Go defend him. Defend your lord.
Actually forgot about them.
Run, Tretch, run.
Oh, he's getting his speed boost.
Oh no, he's OP! So fast!
How is Lewin going to catch him? Oh, he's using Foe Seeker.
He's cheating! Cheater! Banned that sick filth!
Now he's using meth.
Oh, I'm just so sad.
He's shattered, but he's not dead. There's still a chance.
Yes.
There's
There's
he
still
lives.
a chance.
Even if he dies, he's too lucky to be killed.
Alright, Tretch survived this match. That's what matters.
Help me, my little rat ogre.
It says valiant defeat, but by the rules of Tretch, this is bumped up by 1 rank. This is a win.
He didn't die.
Look, he got 1 kill. That's probably Lewin.
The rule of Tretch. So if you have a valiant defeat, it turns to Pyrrhic victory. If it's a close
Exactly.
defeat, it turns into a valiant defeat.
Heroic. And if you get a heroic, you win the game.
I think this was the
That
only
was
even.
an experience.
Surprised Falcon
Right.
even. He was very shocked at the outcome.
Yeah.
Alright. So, how does one actually play this matchup?
Alright, so as
I
Skaven...
don't know about Skaven front lines, which
You
is
need a
my
20
biggest
stack.
problem. I'll just overinvest into my zombies and then realize they can actually break.
Wait, Skaven have zombies? Hold on.
Well, Skaven slaves, you do want a lot of them, but you always want a 20 stack as Skaven, basically.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to now that they can summon it with a 20 stack.
Well, now. Since a long...
Since forever they could. If they couldn't, then maybe you'd want a 19 stack.
I think we mostly touched on what you were missing in your army, though, and that was mainly just anti-infantry. You had so much anti-large and anti, you had Ixchus Triads, you had Spears, you had the Rat Ogres, you had 2 Warplock Jezzails, you had it could zap. You had, literally everything in the world to kill cavalry.
I think also that a lot of his anti-large, it was more anti-single entity and not as much anti-cavalry. Like, Jezzails aren't that great versus cavalry. Like, the Warp Lightning Cannons are, because you can defend Warp Lightning Cannons easier than you can Jezzails. With just infantry and rat ogres, and the crews just don't break, and the models just block. But the Jezzails, they get compromised. They have line of sight issues sometimes versus cavalry, and yeah, the Jezzails are mainly to shoot things like Lewin, but you really don't need that like you have when you have a hell pit as well. It's generally just kill the cavalry, protect the hell pit. You don't need a lot of anti-infantry. Your anti-infantry you need is mostly to kill the archers, and not as much the front line, because the archers are what threatens the hell pit. You want, and well, so are Knights of the Realm, but you bring anti-cavalry and anti-archers. That's basically what you do.
Yeah, so TLDR, bring a mortar.
Oh, and don't bring triads. They're garbage. They suck versus cavalry.
Stormvermin are garbage. Triads are garbage. I just
Yeah.
kept hearing these things in the background, and I was like, okay, not that. Oh, they're bringing counters to mortars. Don't do that. They're bringing this.
You always want mortars, even if they are counters to them.
They'll probably airdrop a Dread Saurian. What will I do?
I think you also don't really want the hell pit, because it just
No, I think
For some reason it just doesn't work that well.
I think you won't help it actually.
Usually,
no,
how
I
this
think you wanna
matchup devolves into is that generally it turns into like the skirmish, the fight happens, then the backline guns get compromised eventually, and then it turns into a Skaven death ball of Plague Priest plus Hell Pit plus Lord
And Council Guard.
and Council Guard versus everything. And if they killed enough before they got to that point, they win, and if they don't, they lose. But
Yeah, so it's basically a Lord. It can be Scroll. It can be Snick. It can be, there's tons of Lords that are good. Lord, if your Lord is not a caster, then caster, Assassin, Council Guard, Hell Pit, Mortars, Warp Lightning Cannon, and then like all ROR what?
ROR wheel.
The wheel. Oh, yeah, you can bring a Doom Wheel too. And then just all like 8 Skaven slaves and like 5 clan rats, basically. Like just fill it with chaff. The rest and rat ogres. Actually, you do need rat ogres. I forgot.
So just throw things in their way until like enough die to the mortar, and then hope the death ball survives.
Yeah, and keep your like Hell Pit right behind the mortar if they have like, because a lot of times they'll have like a beast caster and they can just summon a manticore on and kill the mortars. So you might want something to countercharge the mortar, the summon, so they
which
don't
mortar
die.
deals with the archers? The
All
avalanche, or
just choose either mortar. Just choose either the regiment around or the normal. Normal is probably all you need.
Like, I genuinely don't know when like the avalanche is the better pick for 50% more cost.
It's not. Normally, you always want the 1,000 cost,
Yeah.
but it can be decent.
In
It's fine.
technicality, Avalanche is worse almost every situation, but it's cool.
It's very cool.
It's cool, but loses once it loses models, yeah.
I actually have it in one of my anti-Bretonnia builds.
Ooh.
Okay.
Then bring it. Then do it just for us, since we want to
Do
see
it.
it used.
So be it.
I mean, I think they can actually do some damage against Cav, but they need to hit.
No, I mean, the mortars are actually pretty decent versus cavalry. It's just, there's a lot of targets they have to shoot.
Yeah.
But if the Cav player is on top of their game, I figured like they can probably just evade easily.
They can, yes.
That's
I mean,
that's why.
That's
the
why the
Skaven
poison
bring
wind
Warplock.
effect.
Oh, not Warplock. They bring what's it called? Those artillery pieces.
Warp
lightning.
the artillery lasers.
yes,
I
we really
forgot
know what
too.
you're talking about, right?
As we play this game a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. That's why I wanted to play them.
Oh, and some of you are asking in chat, like, hey, you helped the Bretonnia player a lot and not the Skaven player. It was rigged. Yeah, I get it. But that actually goes into, like, we're going through the process of like, what he needs to deal with. And while we're going through Bretonnia, like, what does Bretonnia need to deal with? How the Skaven player needs to be thinking, how do I deal what deals with my stuff, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
now we'll just rig it in favor of the Skaven
Yeah,
player.
we're going to rig in front of the Skaven player. Let's see how it goes from the other side.
I was just making a joke that there's literally 13 guys.
Yep.
Excluding the players.
Ah, yes, we're the council. I love democracy.
Council 13.
I love democracy.
Is it a democracy?
Okay, since I really genuinely like, I know a bit about every faction in the game, but Skaven are just like a black hole for me. So I'll set the bonus rule no this guy. Other than that, I'm completely fine with it. I really don't want to like be this sweaty.
Eh.
I
mean,
didn't see that guy.
If you
Where
want
is
to
he?
bring a non-sweaty person but be cool, I think Deathmaster Snitch is a cool guy.
Oh, he's so
Okay,
cool.
I would have
that
said the
guy.
other guy. He kind of runs down the rabbit hole of being against a specific unit type, but
Who's the other guy?
Keats.
I do.
Oh, but
Queek?
Oh yes,
Queek?
Oh, Queek's fun.
Queek is
Queek's fun.
Literally, he's literally a worse Deathmaster Snitch in like every single way, but he's
Well,
he's cool.
well. he
Actually, I would have
can
called
be-
him Grimgore.
You know, he's harder to snipe with fireballs than Snitch. There's
But
an
the Snitch
advantage.
has
Well,
also-
Nick has torch,
Oh,
so he can just not be
yeah.
seen in the first place.
Well,
Yeah, it's
sometimes
not
you
that
can
easy.
you can.
Those are details.
spot 'em.
Queek is like worse Grimgore. Like he has a worse You're Next, and he doesn't have Gitsnick.
Listen, I'm gonna bring Queek one of these
Well, he has
days.
dwarf couch, right?
All right, Taco.
Yeah,
next
but when he
faction war,
waddles-
bring Clan Moors.
I'll do it. Oh, that's the normal Skaven
I know,
faction.
but you just tell them I'm going Clan Moors.
But when he waddles,
And
I'll
change your
bring
name
Queek.
to Flying Moors.
I'll bring Queek and the Everchosen.
Oh yes.
I'll do it.
that's a promise.
You heard it here, folks.
Well, then Taco, we need to convince Tvelicon to bring that ice build from Norska. You can't lose with it.
The ice build is tearing up everyone on Quick Metal.
It is actually. I don't know why. Oh, I need to see that game actually. I'm gonna do it after this.
All right, so it's been a bit. We have maybe time to do maybe 1 or 2 more matchups, but I hope you guys are learning and like what the thinking process of how you should be building your armies and what you should be dealing with. So usually what happens after like a lot of this thinking happens is you end up with these like very meta builds. But another thing to take into account is that you see a lot of really good players bring meme units and still win, and everyone's like, how do they do this? And that's because they understand very well that the role of this unit may not be the best for the role, but they still fill the role. I think a perfect example is the Arcasotek. The
Of course, we're gonna bring
yeah,
that
we have to
one
bring it
line.
to the Arcasotek. The
Yes.
Arcasotek is it fills the role as anti-infantry and terror-causing unit. Is it the best one? Absolutely not. But if it fills the role in your Lizardman army that you need it to, then actually in that situation, it's a good enough unit, even if it's a meme. For instances, there's obviously some units like Mounted Human that just suck and they're not even a meme. But like, for instance, the Avalanche Mortars, like choosing between the Avalanche Mortars and the Poison Wind Mortars, the normal ones, if you need, you can bring them, and I think you still have a very good chance of winning. It's not the best choice, but if it fills the role you need in your army, bring it, even because if it's more fun for you, right? That's kind of one of the problems with Beastmen, right? That's why like a lot of Beastmen are like, I'm so bored of bringing not anything other than Morgar, but he just fills a role in their roster that just no other Lord brings, unfortunately.
Beast Lord on Chariot.
And there's Goose. But yeah, that's why most Beastman players are so bored of Morgar. He just fits roles. It's about filling your roles in your armies. But Legion, I saw you joined. Do you want to give a game or?
I mean, sure, but if they want to play, I can let them.
Yeah, sure. So it's up to you guys. You guys can continue. Legion does want to come in. So how are we going to do this?
I mean, it's fine. Let them play. Let them practice.
I'm actually gonna go. I gotta go make myself some dinner.
Catch you later, Taco.
I can't believe you.
Yeah,
Have a good luck,
same.
guys.
See you later, Taco.
See ya, Taco.
Didn't learn
I
about
told
my
you not
money
to give
back.
them any bad advice now.
See ya, Taco.
Yeah. So, can I now get back seated?
All right, so we're
Yes.
going to backseat Skaven versus Norska now. Is this what I'm seeing?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Because that is so here this is
That
what
is,
happens in this. This is
yeah.
what happens in this
That's
matchup.
an 80-20.
You ask Skaven, how do you deal with skin wolves? And all of a sudden you have no answer, and you're just like, wait a minute. But the whole point of this session is to, how do I deal with stuff? And then and that's why we call bad matchups.
Yes. So the North Korea matchup is just how do they deal with this? You don't, and that's it.
Yeah. You start to understand why bad matchups exist when you ask the question, how do I deal with, and you just don't have an answer. Like Beastmen are like, how do I deal with Blood Knights? Yes.
You ban them.
Mere determination. No, you just lose. And
This is why I ban dwarves when I play Norska. I refuse to learn how to deal with armor.
Actually, in the Bretonnia Skaven matchup, does the Skaven have other tools against the Cav? Like, could he just go like Plague Monks?
Plague Monks?
Swamp the Bretonnian infantry
Actually,
and
I'm
then
gonna go
just...
High Elves because I know Norska Skaven's very lopsided.
No, I meant Bretonnia Skaven. Like, could I go... Because I know Plague Monks will get utterly demolished in this matchup. But
You don't want
against
to
Bretonnia, like, you could just beat over the peasants and then hope the Cav on its own can't push its own weight.
The cavalry will destroy them.
Hey.
When I played my son with this build, he got what's really good is bringing the Gracier of Ruin with the Storm Vermin spawn. That summon does really good against Skinwolves. Because it also does extreme damage where you spawn it, so if you drop it on Berserkers, they'll go at half health.
Are you talking about the dreaded 13 spell?
Yeah, that he's talking about the Dread 13 spell.
That is a beautiful spell. I agree. Now Falcon is actually saying that you can win against Norska as Skaven if you don't have good targets for the Windwolves.
Kites a lot because they just bring 6 gutter runners and Eshin triads
and try to
Not
kite you.
6,
Kiting Norska is usually a bad idea in my opinion, but it can,
it is.
Yeah.
Warhounds. Ooh.
The thing is that the Norscan chaff is so cost effective at dealing or screening out the kite. I mean, they are what, 7.5k HP?
Yeah.
7k HP and shielded.
But yeah, so what matchup are we deciding on? Are you staying a Skaven and we're going to have... Well,
I can go High Elves if he wants something else. I can say Norska. It's his choice.
Sure, go High Elves, because I don't think this matchup would ever realistically happen outside of Clan Wars, maybe?
No, High Elves, I feel like... So you pick High Elves...
No, I mean Norska.
Oh, Norska,
I feel like the Skaven would really want to dance around this.
Yeah, Skaven tend to ban... They ban, what's it, Norska, Beastmen, Counts, and Chaos to a degree. I think Chaos is probably one of the more manageable ones.
Wouldn't Skaven want to ban Coast? Or no?
I think that Skaven are... Counts are not a must ban from the Skaven side. Tomb Kings, though, I would say they are.
Yeah, there's a lot of bans Skaven needs to have.
Yeah. Like, Vampire Counts is doable matchup. It's not pleasant, and I think a lot of players who play Skaven side make a big mistake by going the Death Star. But I think it's pretty playable from the Skaven side.
But yeah, so this is going to be Skaven versus High Elves, which is, and someone's bringing well, he's living up to his name.
Oh.
Ben the Barman in chat, I believe he's a Skaven main. He when he picks Skaven, he bans Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings, which leaves all of the Chaos factions.
Oh, that's spicy.
The Beastmen.
I feel like Beastmen are so scary, especially when they spawn a summon. They literally spawn a spawn on your weapon team, and you're just like, well...
They
Guess I'll die now.
Although I think I'm probably Ben. What he probably does is go mass slinger. I feel like in that matchup, a lot of Skaven players go like a shit ton of like Skaven slings, and it's like, oh, I lose one of my Skaven slings. What will I ever do? Oh, I have 6 more. It's because not like Beastmen have that much.
But then it's basically build bingo with the Beastman. Because if he comes prepared, that's a lose.
Yeah,
right.
Ben the Barman literally says, I go kite around a blob. All right, so let's go back to helping Ilmach.
Exactly.
Yeah, we should probably help him. So, we're thinking about High Elves. This is, as far as I know, it's going to be a Skaven favored matchup. And because Skaven,
I agree.
Skaven do well against Elves in general. Now, here, what are the things you have to deal with against High Elves? It's actually this matchup actually kind of, it's going to have a very similar formula to when you versed Bretonnia, but
Jezels and mortar skills, everything. The end.
So how do you deal? There's different things you need to think of. How do I deal with enemy single entity monsters, because they're very good at that? How do I deal with their archers, or their in further out introspective, their infantry? How do I deal with their infantry / archers, their single entity monsters, and how do I deal with their cavalry if they bring it? So, as you heard from Taco before, in general, when you play Skaven, it's almost always good to bring a 20 stack. And it's just how the matchups works nowadays. Now I'm looking at your build. And there is one more thing I do want to add, because a lot of people have been bringing this lately. How do I deal with chariots? Because Bretonnia don't have chariots, so you didn't have to think about that time. But this time you actually do have to think about chariots. Because White Lion chariots are good. They're like secretly amazing, I think. I don't think enough people use them. And also, everybody knows about this, but Noble Chariot. Haha, good unit.
Hey.
So, looking at the army, is everyone clear with seeing the army? All right, so we have the slaves because they're good. We have a warp grinder. We have the anti-infantry with the poison wind mortars, and we have anti-cavalry with rat ogres. Anti-single Hell Pit is more of an anti-single entity, right? So you have that's a lot of Hell Pit. And
yeah, I would cut one Hell Pit from that.
You have it gets zap. Now, yeah, I think you're overcommitting a little bit on the double Hell Pit there, which is good, as someone said. So
you probably want maybe Giselle instead of Hell Pit and Rat Ogre, or maybe like ROR wheel even. I'd say.
A lot of what?
I would say cut the Hell Pit, get extra Rat Ogre.
Yeah, you could even cut the Pox Cauldron and get another Hell Pit or another.
I was thinking of this because of the specific sub-faction. Like, I could be facing something very annoying.
I mean, as far as I know, those actually won't. I mean,
they'll be annoying.
They'll be annoying, but a mortar is a pretty good fix to that.
Yeah, mortars are fine.
Yeah, the reason why this is Skaven favored is because mortars is like it deals with everything.
Oh, there is actually a thing. The High Elves bolt throwers do pretty damn well against the weapon teams, as long as they are of course shooting the single ammo.
Yeah, that is definitely actually something I can take into account.
So like, if I go Giselles, I usually go ROR Giselles simply because of the stalk.
Oh, by the way, Ben the Barman actually posted a replay, for those of you wondering, into the Noob Hammer chat of what he brings as Skaven versus... Which is it? Matchup? Skavens...
Bretonnia.
Alright, I'm just ready.
Versus High Elves.
Just saying. Cool.
Alright.
Oh. Ah.
So you have this to deal with you have many things to deal with cavalry and many things to deal with the, what's it called? The infantry, cavalry, chariots. And the thing, actually, that's a really good point. Whoever brought up the bolt throwers is actually very important here because I actually completely forgot about them, I'll be honest. So, how would you do
Can you trust like probably not, but sometimes we can.
I would probably remove the ROR cannon and get ROR Giselles instead. But that's just my preference.
Their snipe is nice to have, yes. But the cannon deals a lot more damage to single targets in one go.
I feel like this army is a little weak. Well, see here, the thing, Deathmaster Snitch is really good, and the Assassin in combination, that's like your single entity monster killing squad, right? The only problem is keeping them still, which you do have the Warp Grinders and the mass of the Rat Ogres. So you're overcommitting with the, I don't know, the Warp Lightning Cannon is very useful for dealing with the Cav, though, right? So I don't think it's terrible by any choice, but you are missing out on... So anti-cav, we've got anti-mass and cav, we've got anti-infantry, we have all this infantry, warp grinders. Yeah, the only thing that you sometimes cannot answer everything in a build, and right now, the only thing you really can't answer is bolt throwers. But I think once the...
You do not want two warp grinders here.
No, that's a mistake, I think, because you need to be really close to the cav to be able to get their effect off, because the range is not big.
You definitely want one warp grinder, but you don't want two of them. Is this 600 unit?
Yep.
Alright. This is an interesting build. I will say this. There is with dealing with bolt throwers, sometimes you can just outshoot them before they... The thing about bolt throwers is that their DPS is so low.
It depends on the size of the map.
Yeah.
Like last map, I couldn't be in range.
It takes models of the weapon teams very, very fast, though.
So let's pick a good map. Not Altdorf Escorts because that's literally says Skaven are not good here.
Yeah, you can maybe do Eschen.
Yeah,
That's
Eschen.
not a bad one.
That's not how you spell Eshin.
No, not Eschen. Eschen. Come on. They're similar, but not quite the same.
Alright, Eschen. I think we're ready to go.
I just can't get used to this place though.
For Skaven?
Yeah. I want to go in and just smash something.
I don't think Skaven's the faction for you then, sir.
Yeah.
Like,
May I recommend any
when
of the
they
Chaos
gave
factions?
Empire the Warrior Priest the 24 attack damage aura, I basically took 2 of them and ran them into the with my melee line into the enemy and just win. People really don't expect the Empire to win in the infantry.
That's yeah. If you ever want to do Smash, I mean, Greenskins and Norsk are literally that faction. Unless you want to
Only main chaos factions.
But you can't take lizards and just go for crocs scores.
W key forward. All right, let's
Yes.
see. We went through the entire Skaven faction, so I'm going to start over with the High Elves. I will. Oop, he's moved here.
Wait, come on. We're gonna have this gameplay, not the High Elves scum.
Well, we got to see what the High Elves brought, okay? Because we already know he brought Elithanar because the Chad. But he's actually pretty good in this matchup, as far as I know. He's like a decent
Yeah.
pick.
He is.
Although
You can snipe artillery models.
All right, we got 2 of the basic Shadow Warriors, and we've got the Chad Shadow Walkers. All right. So.
Oh no.
Yeah, but nothing a mortar can't fix. 4 Illyrian Reavers. That's Cav in a nutshell. No chariots. I don't see any chariots. Usually I found that really popular in this matchup. But what's replacing the chariots is the 2 bolt throwers, which I'm interested to see how this matchup will end up because of the no use of chariots. And we've got 2 guys there, but I'm sure he's going to deploy them together. So looking at the High Elf build at a start, they have very low... Oh, I really don't know. They have the archers to deal with the hell pits. They have the bolters to deal with the weapons teams and infantry. If the... What's it called? If the Skaven player brought like a unit called like the Council Guard, your only real way of dealing with it is either using all your ammo on it or cycle charging to Oblivion with Illyrian Reavers. And unfortunately, I don't think Illyrian Reavers are enough to deal with the Council Guard. So that's like out of first reaction, that's a big weakness to this build. They can't deal with elite Skaven infantry, specifically the Council Guard. Now, Elithanar is a good choice. What magic did you bring over here? Lord Fire, that's a good choice as well for that, for killing the low chaff infantry. Now let's look at the Skaven deployment. Yeah, everything is set. Now, elevation in this map kind of screws over with warp lightning cannons, as they always have.
One thing for the deployment of High Elves, I'd maybe deploy further back because the bolt throwers outshoot the weapon teams, especially the mortars. So you can do damage on the mortars before your archers get completely annihilated by them.
Also, Blackthorn's asking, why do you never see lore masters, like lore masters of Hoeth? And that's pretty much saying, like, well, they're a foot character, which is already not great. So you're starting off at a bad start. I do not... Lore masters do not have arcane conduit, yes?
Nope.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
I think that's going to be another huge reason. Winds of Magic regeneration, they have none of that. Admittedly, Lore Masters have a great spell loadout. They have Spirit Leech and Earthblood. So they have a great spell loadout, but is it really that great if you don't have the Winds of Magic to use them? It's an expensive unit. It's definitely not cheap, and it's already in a roster that everything's so expensive in the first place. and you have two of the best caster lords in the game with Teclis and Alariel. Do you really need to be bringing another caster? Let's say in terms of meta, like, right? You, we'll be like discussing this meta-wise. Alariel and Teclis are the choice in almost every single matchup in the game. In fact, I'm trying to like this Skaven is one of the few matchups where you might want to bring Altharion, right?
Altharion?
I'm just gonna
No,
say I'm
Altharion,
ready.
sorry.
I just don't want to
Alithanar.
range type some more.
Yeah, because Alithar
sound the
Altharion
same.
never want to bring him.
But yeah, so like I would say Lore Master is just never worth the price, and he's a foot character, and he doesn't have Arcane Conduit.
And also, you can't just bring two casters, like one with just Spirit Lich and one with the heals. And to still be better because you got Winds of Magic Regen.
Oh,
He does have a magic resist aura though, which can be useful in Degenerate blobs.
Some people, yeah, I think a lot of people bring him in the Bretonnia matchup, right? So you go Silver and Box, you bring a
Spirit
Leech, and the magic resist against Grail Knights. So that's one matchup that you can probably fit him in as a good niche.
You can also fit him into Chaos for the same reasons. Spirit Leech Access deals with the infantry. It's pretty good. He has a can opener.
And he's not bad in the melee, so you can actually do some work against Chaos Infantry.
Alright, so somebody asked, the Skaven players is Ilmater, and the High Elf players are going to be Shadow of Nagaryth, which is, you know, very...
I smell a High Elf fan playing the High Elves.
Yeah, I feel like with someone with that name, I think they play the Greenskins.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, why didn't I think of that?
I would say Ben the Barman is saying that you should probably spread your formation out a little bit more for the Skaven player.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
The Warp Grinder is usually used to protect one thing, not multiple things. That's
I think in this case, you want the Warp Grinder to protect the artillery.
Yeah, Rat Ogres are
So
meant to
just-
defend the other things.
Yep. Because if they make it in the back and you have the Warp Grinders
you're ready-
on top of
ready to start
the
already?
arty, you can just stop them from moving, then send in the Rat Ogres to clean up everything.
Alrighty, good luck, have fun, guys, and
All right.
guys-
Good luck.
Good luck.
What are the range on Shadow Warriors? 180 already.
Yeah, so isn't that like standard highest range?
Yes, the both are already lost the model. Wow, that was fast.
But there are two of them.
Ah, you can literally see Shadow Warriors trying to dodge those mortar shots and how futile it is.
So inaccurate that they are accurate.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, very much
that,
so.
And that damage over time also debuffs the units.
Ooh, Alithanar going in. Moonbow, go! He took off a model off the artillery. That's so cool.
Yep. I think that was what Ben said, that like one shot can take away one artillery piece.
Artillery's firing all the way over here, getting nice side shots into cavalry, even though it's losing out. Remember your win conditions, guys. Your mortars should be firing at what? To make sure you can still win this game.
Cavern. And the Garches.
The Rat Ogres are there to deal with the Cav, but what deals with the Rat Ogres? Archers.
Yeah.
Although it's actually very common for you to shoot the Cav one time to get that poison wind effect going, but then you go back to archers. We're losing. Ikid Zap already at one model. We got a nice burning head, but it's on Skaven Slave, so, I mean, Boo-hoo. Ooh, we've got an overchase over here. A big thing that Skaven players tend to do a lot is overchase with their rat ogres when they really should just stay back once they're no longer chasing. And that's going to allow this Lyran Reaver to actually get into the back line, not necessarily on the cannon, but possibly on those mortars. But they're going to turn around and rear charge the Skaven slaves. Or maybe not. They're standing there. Mortars are still doing their job now. The Death Hero squad is actually getting their hands on the Mage of Fire, so that's going to be a magic gone for the High Elves, essentially. Unless that mage lives through that, which I kind of doubt it. Now
Yes.
Alright, that still has one cannon model. Artillery is still doing its job. Both the mortars are still online as of right now, which is very important. Oop, the Mage of Fire actually makes it out alive, even with the Assassin Trophy and the Trophy Heads.
What are the bolt throwers shooting at?
The bolt throwers are shooting at the Plague Priest, which is that's a good choice because what else are you gonna be shooting at other than the cannon?
Well, weapon teams.
Actually, the mortars would be a better choice.
Yeah, I think I would focus mortars myself.
Yeah, they have a lot of ammo.
Is it lagging or is it just like?
Yeah, we're lagging a little bit. Everything's in a slight slow motion. I think it has to do. My internet's fine, but I think it has to do that we're from different parts of the world mostly. I'll have to apologize for that.
So what does the bolt throwers have to shoot? That's good. I guess the Plague Priest.
It's not a bad choice, but as people are saying, and they're correcting me, which is fine, absolutely is shooting at the poison wind mortars because they are.
Oh well, yeah, they also have. I didn't know they were poison wind mortars. Yeah, they're low models, which is pretty good.
They
for
are a win
bolt
condition for
throwers.
the Skaven, which is.
So here's the thing: the one shot from bolt thrower basically takes one model from the poison wind mortars. Like every second or third volley. So, like if they take 3 volleys on the poison wind mortars, they can take around 3 to 4 models. If they're lucky.
The fire mage just got shot so bad.
Yeah. Well, that's your Winds of Magic use gone, but yeah. I would have probably thought of, well, fire is good, but you have to think about what fire is meant to do. And fire is really good against infantry, right? Against Skaven, I would probably definitely go with Manticore Summon or healing. Those are usually the 2 choices that you go with. Oh my god, the mortar is nuking a single entity. Alright, Alithanar is getting
Big
mortared.
brain play.
Actually, all the other targets just died.
Wait, is that the actual Alithanar or
Nope,
just
that's
a
the fake
clone?
one.
Okay.
He's about to get a real once you kill the thing.
Because I don't know if they actually found the real one or that was a fake one.
You've got bamboozled.
Now I'm angry. You won't
Now he
like
got
me when I'm
poisoned.
angry.
I guess Skaven takes this considering they have lots of infantry
Yeah,
left.
the mortars were allowed to fire for the entire game.
They got
He
rat
committed a lot
ogres.
into the cannon.
A bit too much, I agree.
And the cannon still has 1 model, and honestly, that's enough.
What's the kill count on the mortars?
We'll
All
see.
of them.
I mean, you only need like 1 poison wind mortars to make contact, and they'll just do damage.
Am I seeing this right? 13? What? Does it not count the poison wind effect kills as like part of the unit kills?
Yeah,
it only counts like the.
I think it's like crumbling.
Yeah, okay. So it says 13,
It's just
18.
a
but
negative effect.
a
So,
lot
so,
more.
so what are you saying is that it's perfectly balanced?
That's all, yeah.
Yes.
Don't like to hear that.
As all things should be.
Because I think the thing with the Hive army is you got the bolt throwers to deal with the weapon teams, and Alithanar over time will destroy all of the pieces of the Ikit Zap Zap. So you don't really need to focus everything down. So you can focus everything down.
Yeah, so okay.
Whilst
This game, I made a mistake earlier in terms of what you forgot your win conditions as the High Elf player. The win condition was that the only real thing in your army that can consistently deal with the weapons team is your bolt thrower in this scenario, right? So you shooting at the Plague Priest, which is still, it's a valuable target, but it's not your win condition of dealing with it, right? So Elithanar was dealing with artillery, and as someone want to say something?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I thought someone was going to say something. But so Elithanar was shooting artillery. The win condition for the bolt throwers is that you deal with the weapons team with that, and the archers deal with the rat ogres. The cavalry deal with, they use pressure to possibly get onto weapons team, but realistically not really.
I mean, from the High Elves, I didn't really find anything that was pretty scary for the Skaven to deal with.
Yeah, and the Mage of Fire, as we said earlier, probably would have been better to either bring healing if you had single entity monsters or Lord of Manticore, because
And the Manticore summons can just disrupt the weapon teams like a lot more.
Yeah, by himself, right?
Yeah.
Another thing,
And
yeah.
And if like rat ogres or something will help protect the weapons team, then that's 2 rat ogres that's not gonna be fighting for a bit.
Yep. So Lord Manticore really good. Another thing I would like to add for the High Elves that they could bring is I think Flamespire Phoenixes have a really, really good place in this matchup.
Oh yeah, they're pretty cheap. They can revive themselves. There's a chance that they can't.
They
but
cause
yeah.
terror, yeah, they're cheap. And one of the best things is that they poop on weapons teams.
And it actually does some really good damage.
They literally poop on weapons teams. So they would be, in this case, they would have the same role as the Eagle Claw bolt throwers. So you would replace the Flamespire Phoenix with Eagle Claws, and that's like the role in this army.
Oh yeah, you didn't have any sources of terror.
Which is something, yeah, you should definitely have. But you did go into the Shadow Walkers, the Chad Shadow Walkers, which are like...
I think he just wanted to play the Shadow versus the Bow.
Yeah.
The Shadow and the Bow. Got done.
I'll say one thing. I think with the fire magic, generally speaking, it's not worth taking fire if your opponent can summon a chaff. The only place where I think you can use fire if your opponent has summons is against counts. They're just so much chaff and you need to kill it. But the rest, like against Skaven, I mean, it's so cheap and they can just summon loads of it, so don't bother. They die anyway in melee to everything.
Yeah, you heard it here.
But that was fun.
Yeah, that was good.
Maybe I'll get used to them more. But Skaven melee rushes are not something legit. I wish they were.
They can work against Empire.
Well, they can melee rush, like with
We'll see what the Clan Molder DLC does.
I can't wait until they get hounds.
I can't wait until they get Vermin Lords.
That will be so broken if Skaven get hounds.
Can't wait until they get rat ogres with rattling guns on their backs.
I know, yeah, they're just called Storm Fiends.
I mean, if the hounds are appropriately priced, it's not that bad. In tabletop, rat hounds were actually better than Chaos Warhounds.
Yeah, and it still gives Skaven extra mobility, which is something they are somewhat missing now.
Yeah, your only mobility is like the chariots and the rat ogres. That's it, basically. Like the Doom Flayers and Doom Wheels. That's really the only mobility.
Sure, but you also have to consider the pricing on that. Like, 800 for rat ogres who aren't that great in melee. Compare that to skin wolves.
Skin wolves are just skin wolves.
I mean, you can't really compare skin wolves to rat ogres.
They're 150 away. That's the thing. You pay for regeneration and get an amazing stat line.
So
you pay for other things as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's faction flavor. Like I don't think Skaven like have the most efficiently priced melee.
Well, yeah, obviously because
That's
But
like the
that's
point.
not their like strong point though.
So I'm just going out on a limb here and saying that the Molder units will probably be very pricey, comparatively speaking.
I would hope so.
I think it will probably be like some kind of monstrous infantry and maybe a few more big monsters.
Wait for
maybe
Skaven.
they're like Norscan Ice Wolves. Just
Wait for
large
Skaven to get
dogs.
400 coast dogs because low cost team in their army.
Oh, that would be.
That would be fucking broken.
Yeah, that would be bad.
That'd be really bad.
120 models in the unit.
Of course there is.
All right, guys. So if I think this, do we have any more people that want to discuss this, or is everyone like happy with everything? How's everything's going on? Because I think we're reaching a pretty good stopping point, And I think we either have time for one more, or we can head over to the free-for-alls that we traditionally do here.
Oh, did you say free-for-alls?
Yes.
Wait, so what are you guys like doing a practice tournament or like something? Or I don't know.
No, this is just practice matches more so.
Okay.
And discussing how you should be like. Oh, hey, Sadao. That's you, Sadao. But
You didn't know it was me?
Yeah, I don't recognize everybody's voices. But
come on, Ducky, get better.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, get better.
But yeah.
Also, just a question.
Yes.
Instead, I don't own the DLC for High Elves, but I was thinking if I did, I would bring Rangers instead of Spearmen.
Oh yeah, Rangers are pretty common. But
yeah,
like against Skaven, yeah.
Rangers are the mid-tier infantry they shouldn't have.
Oh, actually, I have a question.
The problem with DLC for CA seems to be that they're patching stuff that shouldn't be patched. Like, some factions should have weaknesses, but they're just not letting them have that.
I'm fine with them being in tabletop, it's just that they're really underpriced for what they bring.
How much are Rangers? 800? 650? I have no idea.
750.
Rangers are 600, dude.
They're
600.
600. Oh,
They're
never
600.
mind. Yeah,
They
with a
are
War Dancer stat line that costs
They're a
800.
lot worse than
Just
War
makes you
Dancers,
think.
I mean, War Dancers are not that great in the first place. But yeah.
They aren't, but
I
have
can
very similar stats, even similar attack timings.
Just you wait,
in my opinion, like.
But yeah,
you
for
have
200 less.
DLC for Norska giving them Cygors. Like, that. There's factions have weaknesses for a reason, but then if you go patching them, you're just going to become like Radius Total War mods, and everyone has the same lineup every time.
Pretty much. Yeah, I agree.
That's pretty accurate, actually.
Every faction should have weaknesses. So I'm actually really afraid that next patch is going to be, instead of VP greenskins, it's going to be Skaven VP greenskins.
What, 3 factions?
3 top factions? I don't know, because the whole thing.
Not?
Well, what else? I just feel like.
I mean, like it was already confirmed, not?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think it's almost.
What else are the
What
only
else,
thing that
Skaven?
is actually confirmed?
What else, Skaven?
We're pretty
is like...
sure it's Skaven, but if it's not Skaven, I hope for Lizards. But it'll probably be Dark Elves again.
The beauty ugly theme just fits, and well, we only really have Clan
Wood
Mortar
Elf
left
matter,
over.
I'm really afraid that Wood Elves are going to get actual good infantry, and Wood Watchers are going to stay the same.
Without the nerf on Way Watchers?
Like, imagine
Oh,
if
boy.
Wood Elves could consistently defend their Way Watchers. Oh my god. That's a
Don't give me
nightmare.
nightmares.
I actually don't want to know what they're
Imagine
going to
having
do to their
infantry
queen.
more than like one mass.
Oh.
Like, just give that to Zyphos. And just be
Maybe.
like, alright.
Isn't that kind of what they're going to be able to do?
Own type of unit.
Just let yourselves think about what unicorns might fill for a role. Fluttershy is going to impale you.
Isn't Unicorn the Albion thing?
Nope. We're gonna get unicorns.
playing
It's one of the few things from the tabletop still missing.
And what do we do in tabletop?
I don't know, I never saw one. They were busy hugging trees. Genuinely can't say. I can go look them up. But...
Alright.
Alright. So, I think we're
guys, I
reaching a
have a
stopping.
question.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if you're fighting against Skaven and they bring the Globadiers and the Mortars, does the shield on the Spearmen protect them from AoE damage?
No.
No, they don't. The shields protect them from missile damage. The mortars they deal overtime damage.
And explosive.
Explosive, I mean.
Yeah, explosive and overtime damage. Globadiers do explosive damage, which is
But Rangers instead of Spear.
Say that again?
wait. What if it's Rangers instead of spears?
Yeah, I mean,
They
like,
still take a lot of damage, so that's.
well, yeah, actually.
Rangers do
are
have the
fast and a
advantage.
bit more spread out.
Yeah,
but
they have the
that's
advantage of
really
being spread out, so they take less. If like one mortar shell like hits in the center of the spearman, they're going to take tremendous damage. But Rangers are more spread out, so they're going to get hit by the poison wind effect more often, but they won't get nuked.
They'll still get bled senseless.
Yeah, they'll still die. Unfortunately, bringing infantry against Skaven is just not a good idea nowadays.
You really just need to take them to 50% HP, so their stats are shit as well. And then even your clan rats can somewhat hold against Rangers.
Oh.
Somewhat.
So yeah, explosive damage is not blocked by shield, so you can think of that like either mining charges, bombs.
Mining charge, bombers, or poison wind mortars.
And artillery, because artillery counts as large missiles, so that shields don't block that. I mean, who would have thought you can't block a cannonball with a shield? That's
outrageous.
So apparently,
I mean, have you
for the
seen a
one-
Tomb King shield? That thing is massive. It can
you
block
just
a
don't have big enough
cannon.
shield. Like, what if we put a shield on a skeletal bone giant, right?
Doesn't Billigar have like a Captain America shield?
Captain America.
The cannon
He also has Thor's hammer.
Oh my god, that's a crossover.
So for the guy who asked, unicorns on tabletop were like the closest thing you could take is a manticore, but with disgusting charge bonus, basically immune to magic, and it says here fear, but I'll trust CA to also slap terror on it just because. Seeing your friend impaled on a unicorn is kind of terrifying.
Like a manticore?
Yeah, basically
Is
a
it
single
flying
entity.
Unicorn? Is like a Pegasus unicorn, or is it just a
No, just a single entity monster that is probably going to be small, nimble, and eat you.
I mean, as long as it's not flying, that's fine.
Wait, Enchantress already has a unicorn as a mount.
Yeah.
Yep. But these are very strong and independent.
If it's a single entity, I'm trying to think of like a unit that's similar to it, and I can't think of one. Like it's like a noble on a horse. I don't know.
Yeah.
Might be
that would
close
be
to
an interesting
Vargolf.
idea.
Yeah, but Vargolfs
what
have,
else?
they probably don't have the same mass. Vargolfs will like.
I mean, the Vargolf mass is insanely low. It gets knocked around by the Necropolis Knights, by the Foreigners.
The thing with this DLC is we're really missing very few units. I'm actually scrolling through it.
I'm afraid.
I'm not playing. I'm just here.
I'm
sitting
so
here.
afraid of units that can defend Waywatchers that are cost effective.
Oh,
That's not a thing. That's never gonna exist because
You can just
EA
adjust
hates
the rules and
Waywatchers.
limit Waywatchers to 2.
You just bet that whatever of the 3 legendary lords are left over is going to have something that will make you wince. And when in doubt, the
be a
free
glitch.
one will ruin you.
You know what would be a great lord for Chaos? The guy who has like regrowths. The Lore of Life guy.
What?
Yeah, there's some guy named A called Hellbrass. In the lore, he just does life magic. Very weird.
So you can heal dragon ogres.
Yes.
Can we get
Yeah.
Arbal the Undefeated? He actually was defeated.
Can we
That
get
is-
Eagle, please? I want his stupid demon axes. They're very fun.
All right, guys. I think with that, we're going into the free-for-all stage. I will be ending the stream for now because it's been a very long stream and my voice is tired. So
I can
There's
tell you.
manticores in me.
Thanks for the stream.
alrighty.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
watching, guys. And
Yeah, thanks, Ducky.
quack 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 quack.